Oh.
Oh.
What's up?
One person has come so far.
Good. That's all we need.
But I'm sure. Oh, there's another one. That's huge. Whew. Get your Red Bull, get your drink, you know. Let's give it a few minutes. You know, I'm sure they're on the way. See, we own Venezuela now?
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
I guess Trump can just do anything. I'm looking forward to seeing kids on TV and finding Republicans defending it somehow.
Yeah, and they would too.
Regardless of what you guys think about the invasion or the kidnapping or whatever, which you should think it's horrible, don't argue with fucking Venezuelans about this, because Venezuelans fucking hate Maduro. They're happy to see him go, and none of them are going to be criticizing Trump for these actions. And I wouldn't expect them to. So don't be fucking retarded about it.
Yeah, I mean, just because Venezuelans are out there celebrating doesn't mean it was good that the United States
the United States should, but it's like nobody likes Saddam Hussein either. Okay, like he was also a bad guy. It's just fucking retarded. Like because I think I even saw a few people on the subreddit. Like if you're sitting here thinking like, well, Venezuelans should understand this is bad, right? No, they hate this motherfucker for good reason too.
Yeah, this will kind of bring us into our Asmon debates, but Asmon was on stream. I was watching his stream for the first time today since his WoW streams, and holy shit, he is on there full sweeping and just saying like, yeah, this is good. Look at how the Venezuelans are celebrating. This is awesome.
Yeah, remember the videos of the Iraqis pulling down the statue of Saddam Hussein and everything?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. All right, do you want me to start dragging?
Yeah, go for it. Not all are celebrating.
Right.
I have fam out there. A lot are scared. A lot know that America will control them. All Venezuelans are not happy. No, I don't believe you. Nope, I don't believe you at all. I'm pretty sure 90% of Venezuelans are ecstatic to see Maduro fucking tortured, murdered, and thrown off the face of the earth. You might have some family that feels one way about it, but I'm pretty sure the vast majority of Venezuelans are super happy to see him go. This was one of like it was one of the wealthiest countries in South America, and it's been fucking destroyed over the past decade. Like, this country has been obliterated. The elections are bullshit. Like, I don't think anybody in fucking Venezuela, there may be a select few, but I think most people in Venezuela fucking hate this motherfucker.
All right, here's our first guy. Honestly Reckless. You're up. You're muted.
King.
Everybody does that. I always say I'm not going to be the guy who does that.
And you did it. You were the guy who did it.
I am the guy who did it. Believe me. How's it going?
It's going great.
Great. You want to talk about Asmongold?
Yeah, go for it.
I think he's more or less harmless. If anything, I think there's even a chance he's doing us a favor. I think that leading up to 2024, the country has shifted more right. This is just a fact. Things that are totally fine to say today were like unheard of 3 years ago. So somebody was going to be the big right-wing streamer, and I would much rather it be Asmongold than Fuentes, or I'm trying to think of who else it even could have been, but it could be somebody far more extreme. Asmongold doesn't have an ideology in my mind. He has feelings and reactions. He has extreme reactions to things based entirely on whatever he knows at the moment and whatever he's feeling at the moment.
I don't understand how any of this makes it good.
It doesn't make it good.
So what
is
it
better?
You were saying better, but you mean it's like least bad or not as bad as it could have been? How is that a defense of anything?
It's a pragmatic defense.
So it's not a defense.
If you're looking for somebody to stand here and say, "Oh my God, I love Asmongold. The man's a genius." What are you talking about, Destiny? Like I can't do that because that's insane. But I can see him serving a function, and I can see.
Wait, what is the function?
Him being the function is to be somewhat more moderating of MAGA. Everything he says, even
how is he? But in terms of moderating,
can I swear? Is that fine?
What? Well, no, hold on, because you've talked
Can I
about.
swear? Is that fine? It's a big
sorry.
part of my
Yes.
vocabulary.
Yeah, that's fine. Wait, but I'm just saying that, like,
Okay, yeah.
wait. It seems like the defense here is that he's more moderate than like the worst person in the universe would have been, but like he's carrying the line on all the MAGA stuff basically verbatim. I mean, like, could it be worse? Sure, but like, like it's really, 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 really bad. I don't understand that it could be worse defense.
Yeah. No, it is. I'm here. It's bad. Shit's bad. So in a world this bad, we could have ended up with someone way worse than that. Like imagine Fuentes had Asmongold's viewership.
That would be marginally worse. But like, if I could rate it on a
I
scale,
think it would be much worse. Yeah. Can I explain why?
Asmongold is ultra xenophobic, has no commitment to fact, plays into, in my opinion, one of the worst things right now that exists in our whole landscape, which is inability to discern truth from fiction. Doesn't understand that getting news from a feed that's being aggregated for you based on your reading preferences is the worst way ever to gather news. Is disseminating this information to 50, 70,000 people. I'm pretty sure he's the most popular political, I think even YouTuber on the internet right now. But you're like, well, he's not a full Nazi.
It's not just that he's not a full Nazi. It's that he's somewhat moderating.
He's not moderating. Well, how is he moderating?
Also, he has no further ambition other than doling out right-wing slop.
Yeah, but in some ways that makes it even worse. But when you say moderating, what do you mean by, what is he moderating? He's radicalizing.
Okay, when it comes to the xenophobia, nothing. He's as far in the right wing camp as it gets in that area. But he's far more moderate when it comes to LGBT issues. Like I actually saw him once and it's your fault I even know who this guy is because I watch your streams and your videos, and then always an Asmongold video pops up after you. It's YouTube really thinks you and Asmongold have a lot in common.
Well, it could also be that Asmongold is the most popular political streamer and possibly YouTuber on the internet right now, right?
It is.
Okay. So, but I guess I don't understand when you say he's moderating. What is he moderating?
Okay. Once I saw his entire chat freak out in a video because they were talking about if one of your children was trans. And everyone was like, "Oh, cut them off, like, get them, what is it called, conversion therapy?" And he was like, "No, I'd use their preferred pronouns." He's like, I'd make sure like that it was real, and I'd really get them all the help they need. But like,
I don't know. So I don't know when he said this last, but aren't his most recent statements on this that like every single trans person necessarily has like mental illness or their parents like fucked them up?
This was like November.
Okay, well, the last statements I heard on this were him saying that every single trans person is basically mentally ill, and not in like they need whatever kind of treatment, but like they're fucked in the brain, and their parents are all fucked in the brain. This is the last statements that I heard on this. Maybe we're worlds apart in terms of what we heard, but
yeah, we might be. And also, he's worlds apart in one. He's a lot like Trump actually himself in this way. Like he seems to be a fan of whatever was thrown in front of him in the first 5 minutes.
Okay, here, let's back up for a second. Do you agree with, what do you think are like, then actually, in my opinion, the worst problem right now that we have as a country, as a planet, is we cannot tell like what is real and what is false. So two people can say, two totally, okay. I feel like Asmongold not only also fails this test, I feel like he falls into the trap in the most layman-coded, like dumb way possible, in that he thinks he's being informed while he's scrolling on an algorithmically generated newsfeed. He's never reading articles. He's never finding information himself. He's never doing additional research. He's just reading what Elon Musk's robots put in front of him, and then he is regurgitating that to his audience.
Regurgitating it and signal boosting it. I completely agree.
So in that sense, so this is a thing. Wait. I don't understand what you keep. Well, imagine it gets worse. Yeah, I guess there's probably somebody who would have been worse than Hitler being Hitler's job. But I'm never going to be like, well, it could have been 7 million or 8 million or 9 million Jews, right? Like, okay, I don't know what the point of that defense is. Like,
the point is actually, as somebody, my grandfather was a German Jew, and like maybe maybe 9 million actually would have been worse. I might not be sitting here on this lovely Saturday chatting with you. Like, it can make a difference. You know, sometimes it's a pragmatic argument. You know, it's
What are we arguing for? What is the pragmatic argument, though? You're not arguing. You're just saying that, like, he could be worse. That's not an argument. Like, yeah, I mean, I think could always be worse,
my
right?
argument is that he. My argument is that it could be not just that it could be worse, but that in some ways he has a moderating effect.
He's not. How is he moderating?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
You know? Okay. He does. I've never seen him. I've seen him like cheer when boats are exploded, you know, which is of course horrifying and fucked up. But I've never seen him say like, "Oh, we need to." I've never seen him do like any kind of. We need to go into the Capitol. I don't know what he would have done on January 6th necessarily if today was turned around. He certainly would have defended it, but I don't think he would have been there promoting it.
Okay, here's when I think of moderating. This is what I think. Okay, if Asmongold were gone, the media environment would strictly be better. That's what I think. So I don't see how it's moderating to say that his existence is.
Where do you think his audience would go?
I don't know. They either wouldn't be politically activated at all, which would probably be preferable.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think Asmongold brought in a ton of people into politics that wouldn't otherwise have been politically inclined?
I think that there were a lot of people. This is going to sound so fucking lame, but it's true. I think there were a lot of people that got politically activated, believe it or not because of anything actually happening in politics, but because they started putting like mid girls in video games, and because the Star Wars movie sucked, and they put and they had a female lead. So, you know, simple-minded people were like, oh, I guess all female-led Star Wars movies. I guess female women destroyed Star Wars. And
hold on, wait. You're aware? Wait. Okay, hold on. Are you 26 or 27?
I'm 44.
Okay. If you're older, you know that like the prequel sucked, and not everybody became like a Nazi because of it, right?
We didn't have the internet back then.
When did the prequels come out?
People crazy.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay, the internet wasn't
and don't tell me we had fucking Facebook or something, or
like,
MySpace. I was there.
From 99 to 2005. Hold on. Okay. Do you agree or disagree with this? If Asmongold... Hold on. Do you think Joe Rogan has gotten people into politics that weren't in politics previously?
Joe Rogan...
Or do you think everything is just an inevitability? It really doesn't matter what people watch. It doesn't matter where people go. They just...
Joe Rogan maybe, but in a weird way. Like, I started watching your streams inadvertently through watching Joe Rogan. You know, I started watching earlier episodes of Joe Rogan during COVID, and then I watched, what's his name? The very polite Russian kid. Lex
Fridman.
Like and yes, Lex Fridman. Sorry. And I saw your episode, and I was like, oh, God, this is the guy I'm looking for. This guy makes fucking sense.
Okay, so if you didn't watch me through, hold on, let me wait. Okay, hold on. I just need to. This conversation is.
I know. I'm very dynamic.
No. It's not dynamic. Okay, let me go back to my central point. If Asmongold didn't exist, those 50,000 viewers, you think on a scale from 0 to 100%, okay, and I'm not asking for like an exact, like 42.8, but approximately, what percentage of those people do you think would be as radical as they are now as a result of watching Asmongold? You think it would still be like 70+% of them would have just gone to Fuentes, or?
I think they would have gone, because he didn't have the audience he has now.
He's been like decently big. He's grown doing
not in the last 2 years since the primaries.
He's gotten a lot larger, especially for political stuff, but he's always been like a really good
Yeah. He was
big streamer.
Good video game streamer.
A big streamer. Not just video games, but like a big streamer.
I remember when you did that Miskiv call, and I remember thinking that he was the only one of them with a brain. Yeah. Agreed.
So if he would be gone, do you think that what
were his numbers?
Wait, if he were to be gone,
I have no idea what his numbers were before in the last.
They could have been up to 50K doing certain game stuff. He was a really, really big. He is still a really, really big streamer, obviously. Well, he's probably the largest.
Wait, I lost you for a second there.
Hello.
Yeah, your mic's working. He's just.
All right, I would say the difference between whatever the difference is between, and maybe a little bit more between where he was in 2001 and today, I'd say that margin would all be
Sure. I hear
watching
what I'm
either
at.
Fuentes or somebody new.
Okay,
Or
he's lagged right now.
yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. If Asmongold wasn't streaming, I think that a large percentage, I would say 50% plus of his fans that are super politically activated now, well, I say politically activated, have strong political opinions at least. I think that like half of those people would just not be politically activated at all. They would just like watch other stuff or play video games or whatever. I think that he took a group of people that were not very politically astute or involved at all and made them way more political than they were before. And I don't think that had to be inevitable. I don't think that was always going to be the case.
I disagree because there are all of these like gamer anti-woke groups. They're like, these are the people who went into Asmongold streams. Like, I don't know if you know Friday Night Tights.
No.
They do a thing on Friday. It's all like anti-woke video game stuff. Or not video, mostly movies. And they're what's it called? They have at least 15K on a Friday night, on a
Okay. I would say those
on a
are.
Friday night, and
I would say those people are bad too. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm saying that's where his the newer parts of his audience came from.
Do you think that okay, so what is your ballpark percentage of people of Asmongold that you think would still get into some kind of more radical space? Do you think it would be like over half of them or over like 2/3 of them, or?
I think it'd be over half of them at least.
Okay.
Maybe 2/3.
I disagree, but then even moving past that, if I were to say, what if instead of being like, I guess like a less horrible fucking option for these people, what if Asmongold was actually like a decent option? Like, couldn't he do so much better? Like, even if he was conservative, couldn't he at least like open an article and read, or do like, and these are things that are easily within his power that.
Yes, and of course that would be. So here's the question: if it would be better, because it depends on what he's reading. The reason why I consider him harmless is because he's not starting PACs. He has no political ambitions. He is gonna sit in that house for as long as people watch him, and he's gonna make slop and make money, and that is going to be his life. You know, he's not going to get out.
Do you think the content you consume has no impact on anything you think or feel?
No, of course it has an impact.
Okay, so I don't understand where this like, well, he's not like, he personally does not have political ambitions.
Then we get back to the part you don't like, the it could be worse part.
Okay, so then your primary defense for Asmongold is just that it could be worse. Is that?
I'd like to put it. I think I put it slightly more articulately than that, but
okay. The slightly more articulate version is right now there are substitution goods for Asmongold that if Asmongold didn't exist, the majority of his fan base would be consuming these other things that would make them even more radicalized. So Asmongold is the moderate option in a way. Okay, I guess I disagree. I think that one of the most disappointing facts of the past 5 years, I guess, maybe since COVID, is for some reason every single person thing has become political and has gotten like politically activated and motivated, and that less of this is probably preferable. That we don't need every single person that saw a girl whose boobs were too small in a video game to become like a new MAGA voter or something. Yeah, and I mean, I guess it doesn't sound to me like you disagree that Asmongold does an exceptionally terrible job at like everything he does. It's just you think that it could be worse.
Yeah, I think it could be worse, and I'll send you. I don't know. I guess I could DM it to you on Discord or the clip of him doing the trans thing, but with the defense of using preferred pronouns.
Well, I've heard people do the defense of preferred pronouns is boring because like some people will say that like, yeah, it should be illegal. Yeah, we need to ban all of it. Yeah, it's horrible and mental illness, but I'll respect the pronouns because I'll be nice in person. That's not really a strong position. I'm like, oh, well, this person's not
it was
the worst.
Mostly, I think I also have his chat recorded. It was because I remember seeing that being like, what am I watching? Because he actually like his chat was in like full revolt. They were like, you support mental illness, like, you know, these people, you know, they need to be locked up and like all sorts of other disgusting, insane shit. And you know, he was like, no, that's your family. He was talking about if he had a kid, how he would treat his kid. So.
Okay. Well,
gotcha.
I think little things like that have an impact too. I feel like the right wing slop is going to be out there. Somebody's going to be doing it, and I feel like
Yeah,
as long as
I
throwing
understand
little
what you're
bits
saying,
like that
but
in
like
there.
it's so bad. Right, like he was saying,
It is
like him
bad.
saying things that
It
like
is
everybody
bad.
needs to
It's
be
bad. I agree
deported,
with you.
that walls needs to be executed, that like
He wants to deport American citizens, actual American citizens. It's crazy.
do what?
He wants to deport actual American citizens when
Yeah.
he talks about like
So the idea of like
No.
calling him a moderating voice, I think that if he were gone, but I guess we just factually disagree, and neither of us really have a way to prove it. I think that if he was gone, I think that the overall political conversation would be healthier. I think it'd be better. He would be the space that he occupies, and him speaking, it hurts the space. He has nothing of value, and all he does is make things worse. I don't think he's holding off many people. If anything, my guess is he's probably funneled more people to the likes of like Fuentes than anything else, and prevented them from watching any of his content. But again, we have no way to prove this. I mean, like he spoke, like you mentioned him being a moderating force on Fuentes fans. He's spoken favorably about Fuentes on his stream. Like, didn't he make a comment about how it's inevitable that one day they'll chat or something like that? I feel like I remember him saying this on stream.
it was all very vague. It was all like, oh, it's not. I think he said it's not a matter of if, but when.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like the reason why he's not more proactive with this stuff is because he's not very eloquent or conversational. Like YouTube recommended Steak and Eggs to me once, where he actually he sits down with Tectone and Emaru, and they like just chit chat about whatever's on their minds that day.
Mhm.
And he's not a great conversationalist.
Sure.
He's great at just reacting and having huge reactions to things, questionably true things, but like I don't know what he would say to Fuentes, either in
Yeah, but isn't that
even in,
even
like, a friendly
worse? So he would just
conversation.
bring him on, maybe if they did chat, and it would just be like a Fuentes jerk-off session?
Yeah, that's probably what it would be. Which I think it says something that he hasn't done that yet.
Do you think it says something that he's comfortable saying to his audience, that it's inevitable that he'll talk to Fuentes at some point, but he absolutely will never talk to me? Do you think it's kind of weird?
I think it's kind of weird, but also that's today. In next week he could absolutely say, "Oh yeah, no," because I've heard him glaze you plenty of times.
Yeah, but
I don't even watch this
but
guy
glaze
that much, and I've heard
sure,
it.
but glazes me generally because I don't know why everybody gets sucked into this. The enemy of the enemy is my friend thing. It drives me fucking. I feel like I'm the only person in the world that can simultaneously hate multiple people that also hate each other. He gave me a lot of compliments in the past. One is because obviously I'm an awesome person, and all that, but also because I was fighting with Hassan that he was also fighting with.
Yes.
So it's like
I can't not see Hassan everywhere I go. It's just he's just like the content gift that keeps on giving for you guys, isn't he?
Well, I guess. Well, for some people, I mean, I feel like.
For Dan, yeah.
Sure. I feel like Asmongold is the bigger.
No, but I just mean all over the place. Like people in totally separate corners of the internet.
Well,
No,
Hassan
I've
is like
heard about-
definitionally like a lolcow, right? He has absolutely no self-awareness.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's constantly being milked.
Yeah. But okay. Well, I mean, I feel like I got your point. Yeah.
You got
Honestly,
my
Eccles,
take.
You got any last words?
Jesus, man.
No, it was nice. It was nice to be on the stream.
Good talk.
Oh, are you getting the hoodies back in anytime with the little D? Because I was just in Thailand and I left mine at the hotel. I love that hoodie.
I don't know. Maybe someday.
All right.
Okay.
We should be. Yeah. We'll see.
All right. This next one is an Asmon viewer. I'm bringing him up. Vacationers, you are muted and welcome.
God, I
Go
can't-
ahead.
Microphone. How's it going, Destiny?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Pretty good. I just want to first say that I'm not like the last guy. I'm not. He seemed to be a fan of you, but maybe not that critical of Asmongold. I am not a fan of you. I am a fan of Asmongold.
Okay.
Just to kind of
Wait. Hello.
Christ. Hello.
Oh.
Yeah,
hi.
sorry.
Okay.
So what do you want to talk about exactly? So honestly, it kind of seems like you're kind of. I know people use this term a lot, but I feel like you do have Trump derangement syndrome. I'm sorry.
Why do you feel like I have
Because
Trump
even
derangement
what you said
syndrome?
right when, even right when you started the stream, you said something about the Venezuela thing. I mean, I feel like that's one thing we could all agree is like obviously good. Happened in like an hour, and you somehow found a way to.
Do you think it's good then?
Criticize it?
Do you think that it's good that we deposed Saddam Hussein?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Was getting rid of Saddam? Or how can I ask how old you are? I'm just curious if you were like alive and during like the Iraq War. Okay. That's fine. I'm not trying to age. I was just curious because sometimes I feel like impressions of that might change based on age. But do you have like an impression of like the Iraq War or feelings about the Iraq War that the United States did, where we got rid of Saddam Hussein?
I have absolutely zero position on that whatsoever. Absolutely zero position.
Okay. Why do you think Trump well, here, let me propose a positive argument. So I would say that deposing Maduro as a leader was not good because the president was acting unilaterally with unclear motivation. And the effects of that are the United States becomes less predictable. We destabilize the world order. Everybody, in especially South America, is going to be looking at us a little bit weird. And we have no guarantee about what comes next. There's a lot of indecision.
Who the fuck cares? There's a dictator who was running the country, sending drugs here, and now he just took over.
Should we take over every country that
Fuck.
has somebody running the country who's a dictator?
They're killing Americans, yeah.
How many Americans has Maduro killed?
It's untraceable because it's so high. I would say in the millions if you include all of the. I mean, it depends. Every death from a drug is probably. Like, it's impossible to quantify.
Do you think we should invade and depose the leader of China, Xi Jinping, or Putin, the leader of Russia?
Oh,
Aren't those guys dictators?
they're not sending drugs here. There's kind of a difference.
Isn't one of the big
They're not, like-
talking points for South America is the precursors and everything for fentanyl became cheaply available? Wasn't that one of Trump's big reasons for hating China is because a lot of the fentanyl is coming from China through South America through to the United States?
I have no idea. Basically,
Oh wait,
I'm a
let's
YouTube-
say
I
if that
watch
was
YouTube
true,
all
would you
day.
support us regime changing in China? If what I just said was true, and if Trump had said this over and over and over again,
Absolutely not.
why not?
China is a 1.4 billion population country. What?
So we should just regime change the countries that we can get away with it really easily and quickly with?
Yeah. If it's a benefit for everybody. I mean, I don't know.
Don't you
Would
think that-
it's illegal?
What?
He's the executive branch.
Yeah, but don't
What's
you think
illegal
don't
about
you don't you think that creates like a bad and unstable world where nobody knows if they're about to be invaded by somebody else or not? Like it causes people to act with low trust around the world towards each other?
Always been like that though.
Has it though? It hasn't
the
really
world
though,
is.
right?
Yeah,
It really
it
isn't
has.
though, right? Like since the fall of the Soviet
Better.
Union, it's not really
gotten a
generally
lot
just
better.
countries invaded. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better because people generally don't do that anymore, right? That's not what we do.
I would agree.
So
So
so it hasn't gotten better? Why would we make it go worse by invading people for no reason?
what are you talking about? Because there's a guy sending drugs to the country who's not even officially the leader. People are celebrating in Venezuela, which you admitted when you started the stream. What are you talking about?
So should we
Look, I know you're way more informed than me on this. I'm willing to admit this. I'm not super online, but I use
No, my
Asmongold.
issue. Well, hold on. My issue. The issue that I have is that it's a very. Well, I understand what you're saying. It's a very short-sighted way of viewing the world. Like if we think there's a bad guy, like there can be things that there can be a bad thing, but there could be like processes and procedures to alleviate the bad thing, right? Like if you had a huge pain in your wrist, you could get rid of that pain completely and unequivocally for the rest of your life by chopping your arm off, but you wouldn't do that, right? You'd say, well, we should go from like smallest fix to down like a continuum of fixing things, right? If a police officer shows up at your house to, serve a subpoena and you get into a fight with a cop, that might escalate into you getting killed if you like literally start shooting at the cop or something, but the cop's not going to open fire immediately as soon as he comes to your door, right? You move down like a continuum of things. And I feel like for dealing with somebody like Maduro, especially when you're a huge country, especially when you got a ton of resources available to you, like this should be how you function. Does that make sense? Like you don't just go for the most nuclear thing right off the bat because it creates an unbelievably unstable world where now everybody's looking at everybody like they're about to invade each other, and it makes it harder to get trade deals done. It makes it harder for intelligence cooperation. It makes it gunks the wheels up on literally everything.
Yeah, but if Biden would have done this, you would have celebrated it.
Why do you think that?
Just based off the things that you say, celebrating deaths.
Wait. What is a thing that I celebrated Biden doing that you think is an analog to this, or that like I celebrated Biden doing, but I wouldn't have celebrated Trump doing?
Just the entire operation. The operation.
Wait, that was
took
the
place.
most non-responsive thing in the world. What is a thing that I celebrated Biden doing?
Oh, that you already celebrated?
Or I'm curious, like, what in your mind, what is foundational that has caused you to think that I would celebrate Biden doing this?
Because it feels like you apply like for the Venezuela thing, or not the Venezuela, the Somalia thing. It's like I expected you to honestly say how bad it was and everything, but you still found a way to defend it. Like, not defend it, but go light on it.
What am I going light on?
Say. The fraud seems like a pretty bad thing that you're kind of going pretty light on.
But I think...
From what I've seen, I haven't seen too much of you talking about it.
Sure, I think fraud is bad. I think that when fraud exists, we should prosecute it.
That's not enough.
What?
That is not enough.
What's not enough?
Just saying it's bad, these people have to go. Not all
Wait.
Somali-
What do you mean these people have to go? If you commit a crime...
Oh my god, come on, that's not
No,
what
hold on. I'm not making it a race thing. Bro, I've been saying fucking the N-word and everything on the internet way before you've even been alive. I promise you, okay? Please don't. That shit doesn't work here, okay? That's on other LibCuck streams, okay? What I'm saying, when I say these people, I'm saying, like, even if you've committed the crime or whatever, when you say these people have to go, you go to jail. You don't get deported for committing crimes in the United States of America.
Well, first of all, we don't know even if they're here legally, number one. Second of all, Asmongold said that
Wait. That's a
assets should be
totally different...
seized.
Wait. If they're here illegally, then deport them.
Here illegally, they have to go.
Yes,
Oh,
but wait.
yeah.
But that has nothing to do with a crime they've committed, right? If they're here illegally and you want to deport somebody for whatever, then fine. But that's totally unrelated to the crime thing. Now, if you find out they were here illegally but also even at that, I don't even know if you
Gotta
agree
go
with
back.
that. I don't know if I agree with that.
Gotta go back.
Do you really think they should?
Gotta go back. You gotta go back to your country. If you come here, you have to be on your best fucking behavior.
Hold on, I'm curious. Let me just test that for 2 seconds. If somebody came here and they lived here for 5 years illegally, they stole $100 million, and they were living like a king for 5 years in the United States with stolen taxpayer money, and then you found that out, you would just deport them?
Yeah.
Didn't they
Think
get?
so?
Isn't that like isn't that like the best deal in the world for them? Like, they basically have no punishment, right? They came here, they got to live like a king, and they got to steal from American citizens, and they got all their fun shit, and now they just get deported back to their country. They don't even get jail time. They just go right home.
Somalia? Well, seize their assets first. That's what Asmongold.
Sure, you can seize their assets, but like still, they basically live for no punishment. They just go back to Somalia, which, as you would agree, right? They should have been there in the first place. It doesn't even matter, right?
Yeah, but I don't know why. This is what it goes back to what I was saying about you. You're not defending it, but you just like why don't you think people that steal stuff? You think so? You're saying they should get put in a jail in America. That's what you're proposing.
We have a punishment for certain crimes in America, and I think they should be dealt out the punishment. Yeah.
So if a Somalian came here legally, but they stole $100 million from taxpayers, should they get deported? Yes or no? Legally, even if they were born here.
Wait, legally?
Ha!
Oh, no, of course not. What do you mean? If they're American citizens, then no, you don't deport people who are American. What would you deport them to?
Okay, yeah. Or I think kind of highlights your position, because Asmongold is basically suggesting that their assets should be seized and they should be deported back to where...
Wait, do you think you should deport somebody who's an American citizen?
If they moved here and stole hundreds of... I mean, I don't know if that's... I don't know about that. I mean, that's more of a Asmongold... I don't agree with everything Asmongold says.
Sure.
I agree with most of it. I think he's a good news source.
Okay. With the Somali thing in particular, so when I say fraud is bad, you cut me off. I understand, it's fine. But I think it's bad, and it should also be investigated, prosecuted. People should be held accountable, right? I think my issue is that in the Biden admin, this was happening, right? The big cases that everybody wants to cite to take credit for as hundreds of millions of dollars of fraud or whatever, the feeding your children or feeding our future or whatever, like that was found under the Biden admin. There were like 90 people prosecuted for this crime. Like, that was a good thing.
Good.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
They
Yeah.
should have went way fucking harder.
Well, what do you mean? How do you know? What do you mean they should have went harder? What does that even mean?
They should have went harder against the organization.
Well, but you don't know how
fraudsters-
hard they went. You don't know if there was more. You have no. You're just. That's like just a totally baseless statement. How do you know?
Obvious. What? We're still doing it today. What do you mean?
Who's doing what?
Did you watch the did you watch Nick Shirley's video?
Yeah, it was a horrible video.
But why not just address the actual claims that are being made instead of focusing on like
Sure, give
way
me
in which
one.
it's
Sure,
governed?
give me one factual claim that you think that video made.
one factual claim that the video made?
Yeah.
Well, that there's fraud going on in small in
Okay.
on
What part of the video
in Minnesota, not
demonstrated?
Somalia.
What part of the video demonstrated fraud?
Oh yeah, the part where they went to the daycares and
What- what-
had the paperwork.
Okay, that
Have the
paperwork that
receipt.
you're talking
Yeah.
about, you have no idea where those numbers come from, right? I don't. I couldn't find a
Well,
source
yeah,
for
'cause
any of it.
they didn't go in on that, but
Don't you think
I mean,
it? Wait, wait, wait,
you
wait.
can
But that's.
go with the
But wait. Isn't that?
technicality of it, but-
Wait. No, it's not the technicality of it. The claim was that one, they're getting huge amounts of money from the government, but there wasn't any proof of that ever in this video,
You're
right?
denying that? You
But
don't
wait,
think they got the money?
I don't know. Did they? Wait. Was there proof of it in the video?
There's proof of it from the prosecutions under the Biden administration.
No,
was there
no,
not?
there's not. The Biden administration didn't go after daycares. They went after a charity organization.
Oh, so you think that so you think that the whole thing was a lie?
I think
All
that
of
the
this
video
was a
was
lie.
bad. Yes.
No. I'm asking about if you actually believe that there is zero fraud going on at daycares.
You're asking me a fundamentally different question there. There might be fraud going
Yeah.
on, but if there is, the video didn't demonstrate any of it. It failed tremendously to demonstrate anything at all. Because even this very first thing you're bringing up, which I agree is important, and it would have been nice if they actually gave some context for it, we have no idea where any of those numbers came from. There was no proof of that. There was no source of any of it. We have no. It was just a crazy dude who works at some construction company waving around a packet of papers.
I mean,
Isn't that a problem?
but-
What do you mean you guess? What did I just... Isn't what I said exactly correct? What I just said. Isn't that exactly what happened? What do you mean you guess?
I mean, you can criticize the video, but the actual substance is what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
but wait, how can you get to the substance if it's not being presented?
Because it led to investigations.
No, it's leading to ICE showing
Video
up.
led to it, not the...
No, there's
yeah.
no. What do you mean investigations of this current DOJ? We don't know if anything's going to come from that. You can't speak to any of that. You could be agnostic on it now if you want to. Well, I don't know. We'll see where the investigations go. But that's not the statement you just made to me. You said that
What
there
are
was
you
for sure.
talking about? I'm pretty sure they just shut down all funding to all, or I don't know this.
Yeah,
I
and made the announcement they were going to, but that's not an investigation. That's just retributive action. They're not doing this because they found fraud. They're just doing it because they're reactionary.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how government works. That's kind of.
Well,
how
let's say that
presidents
they
work.
don't
There's
find any
bad
fraud
issues,
then.
they
Wouldn't
have
that be
to
a really
reactionary.
bad
That
thing?
argument you made with Biden waiting 4 years to pass the border bill?
No,
I mean, you
wait,
can
hold
go
on.
ahead.
Wouldn't it be really bad if they shut down all that funding and then they finish their investigation and they don't find any fraud?
I mean, yeah, but it's obvious that there is fraud.
Okay, so then if they don't find any fraud, you're
Seriously
gonna say, wait, if they don't find any fraud, then you're gonna say, yeah, that was a huge mistake and they never should have done that.
That would be horrible if there was no fraud, but I'm pretty sure it's obvious there is.
You're pretty sure it's
think
obvious, but you've seen no
He
evidence
just
for
made
it.
everything up. I
Who?
think the guy that he was with just had like, what do you think those papers were? You think they were he just
Bullshit?
in a
Yes.
Google Doc and just? I
Yeah.
think he literally just created them.
Yep.
The whole thing was.
Yeah.
People lying on the internet?
You know why I know? You know why I actually know that to be the case? You know why I know?
Wait, no, I need to understand. So you think he literally went in a Google sheet and just wrote fake numbers down?
Not necessarily fake, but pulled them from bad places and knew that it was bullshit. Yes. But wait, do you
I think
understand?
always, you think those daycares are not fraud? Or actually, sorry. go
Wait,
ahead.
hold on, wait. Here's this is the easiest thing in the world because if those numbers were real and he had a good source for them, you don't think that would have been plastered all over the video? He would have said, "Go to this website and look this up here. Look, you can see all these numbers here. Look at all this stuff that you can look
But
up."
not
And you
just
can...
somebody who watches YouTube all the time. People don't actually care about seeing the actual sources. They just want to see the actual video that's being made for entertainment. But that's an entire
For entertainment? Oh, so then it
I've been
wasn't
watching
journalism.
YouTube
It
for-
wasn't anything good. It was literally just a LOL entertaining video then.
journalism. No, it's not. It's not really. Well, I mean,
So it was an entertaining
Kind of
video
the
that got all the
technicality.
state funding pulled
work, yeah.
from daycares and feeding centers and everything else, and that's epic and based? That makes it even worse, doesn't it?
if it's not true, obviously, I think everyone would agree.
Well, but
with
now
that.
you're saying it was just an
That's
entertainment piece and it's not even journalism. So what do you mean? Is why would we start any investigation off the back of an entertainment piece that...
just I've never heard the argument be made that all of this is fake. Most people, like the guy's video, the guy I forget, I think his name's Atrioc. He admitted that there was at least fraud going on.
Yeah, but Atrax video was
Pretty
also dog shit, but that's because nobody watched this video or has any understanding of how to like put together like a coherent argument. But you haven't refuted a single point I've said. You have no proof. I'll give you, a couple minutes right now if you want to look. You don't know where any of that guy's numbers came from, right?
Oh, but I mean, if you really think, so you think there's zero fraud, all those daycares.
You're not. That's a different question of whether or not there's zero fraud.
Well, it's not.
It
No,
is.
it's not.
I'm sure there's some fraud. There's fraud in everything. I'm sure there's some fraud.
Oh, okay. So now we got to the at least. Now we're okay. Good. Cool.
But if you thought there
Now we're
was
saying
fraud,
there's
this video is even worse because now it's taking any
Right.
attention away from actual fraud, and now it's making people waste their time looking at fake fraud or bullshit.
Just said there was obviously some fraud.
I didn't say it was obvious. I said there's probably, statistically speaking, I'm sure there is, but this video didn't expose any of it. And now we're all talking about these stupid videos, and we're not doing actual fraud investigations.
I mean, it just happened. You can't say there's no investigations. I guarantee there will be some groundbreaking.
Yeah, like all the other
investigation.
groundbreaking stuff they've done, like Doge was groundbreaking.
He needs to go further.
Like
Doge
getting
was
the
a-
deficit cut was groundbreaking. Like no new wars was groundbreaking. Like what do you mean? This administration has broken every single fucking promise. You're on like the mountain of I fell for it
Fuck
again
are you
awards right
talking
now.
about?
Just what I said. What do you mean? We haven't had the mass deportations. We didn't fix any of the crime in any of the states. The National Guard
Since
just got
when
pulled
do you
back from
want
every place that they
mass
sent. What do you mean? Like nothing happened.
Dude, my dude. We're a year in, less than a year in. First of all, second of all,
And we're still
needs
talking
to
about
go
Biden
way
every single fucking time.
further.
Yeah, so
Way
even by your
further.
own admission, he hasn't done enough because he hasn't done anything, right?
I wouldn't vote for him again.
Okay, then you agree with me. He hasn't done fuck all. So I don't know why you expect there to come anything from these investigations.
The investigations. Look, I mean, it's obvious there's fraud. I don't think that's really an
Why you
argument
keep saying that with no proof, though, right? You know that's like a low IQ position, right?
there. Low IQ position.
To keep saying that it's obvious there's a thing, but I have no proof of the thing. That's like a super standard, like low IQ, like 75 IQ take, right? Like inferior genetic take. Like I can't, like this thing must be true because I think it's true and I have no proof for it, but I think it's true, right?
You can call it low IQ, but if we arrive at the correct outcome, then it's not really low IQ. It's just
You know, that's an even lower IQ take, right? Do you know how to do like exponents? Like if I say like, how do you calculate an exponent and you
graph
multiply the
Haskell bit,
exponent
you fall in the
times
middle.
the number and you say, well, 2 times 2 is 4, so 2 squared is 4, and that's how that works. Just because you get the right answer doesn't mean you used a good process, right?
challenge you to look at the graph that Asmongold made. You fall under the middle category where you look at data and research for everything. I fall under all the way to the end where we say it's obvious.
Yeah, that's called the low
I
IQ
would say.
position, right? Like you don't need IQ
No,
to do
there's
things
low
that are
IQ and high
obvious and
IQ
self-evident.
do it.
That's
I
just
wonder
like an
the high IQ do
instinctual.
it because
That's like a low IQ position. It's okay if you want to have the low IQ position. That's fine, but I don't know why you would brag about it. I don't know why you think it would be good.
why are you defending?
Why am I defending what? High IQ positions?
How is that a low IQ position?
How is it a low
If it
IQ position to say I just go by my
arriving
gut?
at the correct outcome?
Arriving because you don't arrive at the correct outcome consistently if you just rely on your gut, even if you might get it right every now and then.
Asmongold says that isn't true?
His claims are
what he's
so
doing.
vacuous. It's hard to say if there's a truth value that you can
Example.
assign to them at all. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what. I mean, like everything about the Nick Shirley video was false. Obviously, he has no ability to decipher news critically, right? I mean, you
What
yourself.
about the people that have been coming illegally since Biden's term?
What about them?
People like you downplaying it or outright denying it.
I mean, I think I don't know who's denying it. I think that the issue is
You
that
were. Hold on, you were.
I deny that people came here illegally.
No, you denied the numbers, but I mean that's a whole other
Well,
conversation.
wait.
We don't have,
Yeah. Well, hold on. I do. What numbers do you believe? Just curious.
what do you ask me? What numbers do I believe?
When you say I'm denying the numbers,
have been
what
deported?
numbers do I deny? Yeah. How many people do you think came in illegally under Biden?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a range because
Sure, that's fine.
like I don't have it on the back of my
That's
I have
fine,
a
yeah.
general range. I believe it's between. This is kind of a big range, but I don't know if that's fine. I believe it's between 15 and 40 million.
Okay. Do you understand that would double the illegal immigrant population in the United States? Like, isn't it kind of
Oh,
weird?
the illegal, maybe.
Yeah, isn't it kind of weird that you guys are saying this was the biggest problem in the entire United States, and then as soon as Trump is elected, you guys basically stop talking about it, and there are no deportations? Isn't that kind of weird?
border crossings went down to 0.
Okay.
Oh, you mean people that are in here?
Yes, that's why I asked how many people you think came here.
What are you talking about? Everybody's talking about. What the fuck are you talking about?
Nobody's talking about. Nobody seems to care that Trump is not deporting people that much.
Yeah, everybody does. Have you watched any of Asmongold's streams where he's saying that he won't vote for Vance in 2028, or is that just being ignored?
I don't know what Vance has to do with this, but okay. So I guess then you admit, I guess then that
nominee. It's obvious.
What?
Vance is the next Republican nominee, so if they're not going to follow through on it, then he's not going to get elected by us.
I don't think we know if that's true at all. That's 3 years away.
Yeah. Also, how is it if well, I'm not going to jump to that. So okay, so then I guess then Trump has failed completely on the illegal immigration thing besides shutting down the border.
I mean, by your own admission, the border crossings thing was pretty good.
I don't think I've said by my own admission. I don't know why. I don't think Trump's the problem I have with Trump. I guess is the same problem
there wasn't a policy that was passed. You said that the problem is that there wasn't a policy that was passed, but it is a good thing that the.
Well, I think there is a problem that Trump doesn't seem to know that there's like a Congress that can pass laws and everything. You know, right? Like, wouldn't it be better to have an actual immigration like piece of legislation that would stand once he's out of office rather than just executive orders that can be rescinded as soon as he's gone?
But you could apply that to the prior president as well.
No, because Biden was trying to pass legislation to fix the border, right?
The third year, though.
Yeah?
That does not count.
Well, the first year he came in, he had to clean up the COVID mess. The second and third year, you had October 7th, and you had the fucking Russia-Ukraine shit, right? I mean, like, there was a lot going on, right?
You do multiple stuff at once.
You can, yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying there's a lot going on, right?
Yeah, and what happened to that bill that he tried to pass?
Trump told the Republicans not to vote for it.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, so it must not have been a big problem. That to me sounds like not a big problem. If we're saying that, well, actually, we can just put this whole thing on hold for 6 months until Trump gets elected, that tells me, oh, I guess it wasn't that big of a problem then if you just want to run on it as an election issue, and you can definitely put off actually solving it.
Hold on, did you say it's not a big problem?
If there was legislation that was on the table to fix the problem, and then Trump says, nah, don't pass that. We want to keep this issue open for the election. That seems to me to be not a big problem then if you can keep it open. It makes sense to me, right?
Wait, that's just because Trump is Trump. If there's 15 billion people coming...
That's because Trump is Trump? No, he was still voted for. So the people that voted for him must not have felt like it was a big problem because they still supported him doing that. It's not like Republicans got mad at him. It's not like the voters got mad at him for that. They were like, yeah, own the libs. That was their position.
Well, I believe there was another reason for shutting it down. I'm pretty sure there was aid to Ukraine in the bill, but that's a whole other conversation.
That was eventually taken off of it, though, and they still didn't pass it. That was the excuse they used initially, but then even presented separately, Trump still didn't want it passed.
It still doesn't matter because it was 3 years after. He waited 3 years.
I don't understand how you think this is an argument for anything, but okay. It's not like it was horrible.
Wait, at the end of his presidency.
What
are you talking about? I have not heard a single. I have actually not heard a single defense for that. He waited 3 years. Not one.
Well, I mean, the defense is that there was a whole bunch of other shit going on. Number one, and number two, I don't think that we'd ever seen an abuse of the asylum system in the United States like that in all of U.S. history, basically. So I guess he could have been more aggressive. I think it's fair to criticize Biden for not being more aggressive on asylum-related stuff. I think that's a fair criticism. But I mean, clearly it was never as big a problem as Republicans pretended it was because they didn't care to kill the bill about it immediately.
Not a clear criticism. That's a disqualifying thing. What?
How is it a disqualifying thing?
Immediately disqualifying from ever being allowed to run for office again. It is.
If that's a disqualifying thing, then there's like 50 things that Trump has done that is immediately disqualifying.
Give me an example.
Sure, in what domain?
Any. Just give me some.
Any? Okay, how about negotiating the surrender? How about negotiating the unilateral withdrawal of the United States from Afghanistan without even involving our partners, the Afghanistan government, in that negotiation with the Taliban?
Biden immediately cancels that out. So that's
what?
Not an argument.
You what?
Biden cancels that out. What do you mean what?
How does Biden cancel that out? No, I'm just talking about Trump right now.
Yeah, but you talked about the pullout of Afghanistan.
I've said the negotiated surrender of Afghanistan. When Donald Trump negotiated with the Taliban to give basically the entire country back to them without even involving the Afghanistan government, that would be a disqualifying thing in my opinion. That's just so.
I mean, that's a foreign thing.
That's why I
I'm more
asked you
worried
what
about stuff
domain. If you
happening.
want, we can focus domestic.
Okay, yeah, sure, domestic.
Okay,
That's-
trying to
that's
steal the 2020 election and denying the results of the 2020 election.
Oh my
Easily
God.
disqualifying.
Holy shit. That's your argument?
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I don't even know how I can respond to that. I
Yeah,
just
because
steal
it's
the election.
disqualifying. Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing that's a very slippery slope.
No, it's not.
Please. Okay, what is your position? Or that's a whole nother thing.
Well, sure. Like very basically, Trump had 7 fake electoral votes made from
Nope.
from the 7 target
Immediately
states.
no. Immediately no.
Really? How not?
No, it was not. 2 of them were authorized by state legislatures.
Doesn't matter. They needed the certificate of ascertainment from the governors in each of those states, and they didn't have them. They were illegitimate electoral votes.
2 of them were authorized, though,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah. Look it up.
I
I believe
have.
Pennsylvania.
No.
But two of them were the Pennsylvania. There was like a.
No.
It was
No.
if
No. Kenneth
No, no, no.
Chesbrough
Two of
floated
them-
a theory that it might be legal in some states, maybe, if you could just get in the building and fill out the electoral slate or whatever, that it might be okay. None of them had certificates of ascertainment from the governors. None of these were authorized by the state legislatures. All of them were illegally done.
it was a legal theory. I mean, that's a whole nother. But there were also
No,
novel
it was
legal theories
illegal.
that were brought against
No,
Trump. that-
no, it was illegal. Don't say novel legal theory because you can excuse any behavior ever if you call it novel legal theory. He tried to steal the election. The people in the state voted one way, and he
Using
wanted.
novel legal theories.
What novel legal theory would allow you to change the vote of a state?
No. The legal theory was challenging the constitutionality of the Electoral Count Act. I believe that was the legal theory.
No. The legal theory was we're going to break the law, and we're going to call it constitutional.
Not an argument.
What do you mean it's not an
What
argument?
about all the memos?
The Electoral
Everywhere
Count
that-
Act is a law that they were going to break. When you break a law, the way you break the law is say, well, I think it's unconstitutional. That's called breaking the law. You fell for the conservative slap when they say, "Oh no, we think it's unconstitutional." That's a code word for we're going to break the law. That's what that
It's a
means.
legal theory, is it not?
By breaking
How
the
that's
law.
not a legal theory.
Because it's legal theory is a vacuous, meaningless statement, meaning you can do anything.
Oh, because there's boundaries, obviously.
Really? Because they were
that
going to
was
break the
within
law.
the-
What was the boundary on their theory that they could violate the ECA?
Well, because they thought that it was a valid legal theory at the time,
No, they
considering
didn't.
all their.
No, they didn't.
They believed
No, they didn't.
that there was fraud.
It doesn't matter. Even if there was fraud,
No, they didn't
they
believe
wouldn't-
that there was fraud.
No, they didn't. Also, he didn't. He knew there was no fraud.
He said they, not him. There's no evidence for either way. I mean, that's another thing that you could go down on.
No, every single person that he tasked with investigating voter fraud all came back and told him the same answer, that there was none to be found. A lot of the voter fraud that he
But it's Trump. Come on.
So he's retarded. That's your defense. Your defense of Trump is he's a fucking retard.
No, not a retard, but thinks things are his way. Tries to get his way.
Sounds like a disqualifying thing if that's the case, right? Probably wouldn't want that person leading a country, you know?
If people are gonna tell Trump something, you think he's gonna listen?
Okay,
Dude, you
if
know
no,
this.
then fine. Then
What
he
the fuck are you
shouldn't be
talking about?
president, right? You admit that a person like that should never be president, at least, right?
But I mean, I feel like you could apply that to every single
No,
person.
hold on. If there's a person who literally can't take advice from
flaws.
people, if there's a person who can't take advice from people, that person probably should never be president, right?
Can't take advice from people. That's kind of a broad generalization.
If a person can't even take advice from people, that person probably shouldn't be president, right?
I would disagree.
Really? So the president of the United States...
What if Hitler gave him advice, dude? What are you talking about?
You said he can't take advice from anybody, apparently. Why should the
Takes
president
advice
even
from
have...
people that he agrees with?
That's not called taking advice. That's called circle jerking.
Advice doesn't just have to be from people you disagree with, dude.
You get
Circle
advice
jerk.
from... Why do you think you get advice
What
from
are you
people? Wait,
talking
wait.
about?
You think you get advice from people to just reinforce your own opinions?
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes.
Then why have a cabinet or why have any of that shit at all? Why not just run the... He could run the whole office himself, I guess, right?
fucking based, but he'll never do that. I mean, he'd probably be more effective at getting things done.
Okay.
That's another conversation.
Okay.
Don't think anybody
Any
would want to get into.
final thoughts for us?
Hey,
Okay, cool. No, I don't think so.
All right. Have a good one, vacationers. Thank you.
Cool.
All right. Bringing up the next one.
The problem with some of these is that like it really is impossible to decipher. Like everyone in chat just spams rage bait or whatever, but you fucking retards also spam like AI every single time you see anything. Half you guys thought that video that I made was fucking AI because it was a pre-recorded content or whatever. But the problem is that like the actual positions of like a MAGA person, I think, are indistinguishable from a satirized position of like a retard. We're doing the trial today for the shooting the air things, okay?
Yeah, we'll do it after all.
You
this.
understand, like, can Trump just do anything?
I think these people would say yes.
Can Trump do it? Why? Because we kidnapped a world leader today. No declaration
they
of
did.
war.
Yeah, they
no
did.
Senate
No.
judiciary or no Intel committee. No nothing. No signing off on it. We just
They
did
didn't
a
tell
thing.
anybody in Congress either.
Yeah,
They
we just did
it.
a thing, and like, if he's not impeached from this, I don't even know what kind of a country or what. I don't
And
know.
the military went along with it. They did it.
Well, the
Like,
the
I mean,
military.
you're supposed to refuse illegal orders.
Yeah,
no?
but this, in terms of like legality, gets, I think, weird here. I don't think
Because he has 90 days, right? Technically.
that, and the problem is that like the president is at his like widest latitude given when it comes to matters of like national security and military operation. So on the legality front, it's harder there. Like there are some things that are clearly legal. Like if the president says like, you know, rape this civilian, like, okay, that's clearly, or if a president says these people have been floating in the water for 41 minutes, take them out, right? Like these are obviously illegal
Double
things.
tap 'em.
Yeah, these are obviously legal things, but like, you know, doing military operations because other countries, it gets a lot hazier at that point. Like these are probably
Yeah.
things where we wouldn't expect our military, for better or for worse, to
be
be
like,
making
no.
decisions to refuse commands here.
Yeah.
But like the fact that the president obviously didn't inform anybody, didn't get approval from anybody, like he really is just running. It's the White House that is in control of the government right now. Not even the executive
Yeah.
branch. It's just the White House, and Congress is
Trump.
totally in the dark. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Also, real quick, because I see people in chat say this. Even the Secretary of State said the Venezuelan action was based on U.S. law and not international law. Spoiler alert, if you want to short circuit Israeli cucks or U.S. cucks, like myself, which I'm both of, people that say, oh, well, you know, we're not part of the ICC or that's international law is basically going to be at parity with domestic law of any real first world country. So even if Israel's not part of the Rome Statute, even if the United States is not a party to the Rome Statute, like our laws on our books are going to be about the exact same as like all of the international legal standards. Otherwise, there would be huge problems if that wasn't the case. But I just can't believe I just woke up and I'm just seeing it's just like I guess he can just do anything. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games. Go ahead. But yeah, next person.
Before I
Yeah,
bring
go
up
ahead,
Melt
yeah.
Mods, I'll just say he literally went to another country, sent his troops to another country. They kidnapped the leader of Venezuela and his wife. And then he got on mic and was like, "Yeah, we run this shit now." For
Like, what
the
are we?
time being.
What are we gonna do with him now?
I guess he's going to New York to face the charges. He's
What
got four
What are we?
counts.
Charges of what?
The one was like conspiracy around. There were two.
Oh, he was
conspiracy around
indicted?
drugs.
Donetsk, what
Yes.
exactly
Wait,
is
hold
indicted?
on. Show 1 sec. Hold on. I need to read these. I'm curious now. Indictment. Maduro.
Overload just linked it.
These might have been earlier indictments too. I'm curious. Yeah, hold on. Under Jay Clayton. When was this? These are revealed today. Do we know when these indictments were filed?
Let me look on here if it says it all. Let me go to the bottom.
Jay Clayton.
Jay Clayton, United States Attorney.
Under what administration?
Let's Google it.
in office from 2017 to 2020. Okay, so he was indicted in Trump's first term. They said 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
While the actions might not follow proper procedure, would you support them absent their legality? Are they morally okay? So the low IQ take is that law equals morality, and then the midwit take is actually morality is completely separate from law, and then the Jedi Master take is that law basically equals morality. The problem is that if you have a set of rules in which to rule by internationally and domestically, the abdication of these rules is in itself a form of immorality. Also, the rules probably exist for a good reason. Generally speaking, the rules exist for a good reason. So to oh god. Somebody just said, dude, did you watch the whole speech? It's insane. Is the speech bad?
The speech is nuts, man.
I can't. I'm gonna Fed post. I can't do it. I can't watch it. I'll start
No,
Fed posting.
if I were you, I wouldn't watch it right now because what I sent to you literally earlier, I said Trump literally just said that the United States is going to run Venezuela and is talking about a second wave if needed. He said all this, and he said that Marco Rubio is going to be running it in with Pete Hegseth. He said those two are going to be like in charge of it right now. And then I think he said that there's going to be a small council that he's going to like kind of get together to like run Venezuela or whatever for a while.
Like they said
figure it out.
for the Gaza Strip. Did they just copy paste the homework from the Gaza Strip and now they just put Venezuela and everything?
Yeah, and then he also talked about Cuba and Colombia, and I think he told the Colombian guy to watch his ass. It was insane.
Who's gonna do it, Mooten? Just kidding. Don't stop.
Let me get the charges for you.
I saw the
Right.
indictment, but
Oh, you saw him? Okay.
yeah. What the fuck is S411? Is this a statute or what is this? I've never seen this before. Or what does this mean? Is it just the label for the... Oh, it's just the marking of the indictment. They don't list the... On a sealed indictment, do they not normally list the charges here? Is that... Hold on, let me check one sec. 4 counts. Count 1, narco terrorism conspiracy.
Yep.
Well,
Yo,
I
what's
mean...
up?
Hi, what's up?
So you guys were talking about Venezuela. Wanted to hop in. Have you seen what's been happening with the successor?
No, is it the lady or whatever, or somebody else?
It's the vice
Nope.
president.
Yeah, it's not Machado. She's out. I don't know what happened there. But it seems like Rodriguez is like a super hardcore defender of Maduro. She's his tiger, apparently. That's what he calls her. But she's been like she did a bunch of speeches, or just one, but talking about, Maduro, like the capture is illegal. We're never going to be a puppet of the United States. Like we're going to fight back as best we can. They need to like send them back. But this is at the same time that she's courting Rubio. Apparently they had a call about making Venezuela great again. And Trump thinks that she'll listen because she has to. She has no other choice. That's what he said, at least. I'm assuming because they'll oust her if she doesn't listen. But what do you think about that? Because in my mind, having the same administration in power just leads to nothing happening. They could just stall out for time, say that they're going to do a bunch of democratic bullshit, and then when Trump gets distracted, they just go back to their old bullshit. If all the same military leaders are in power,
I don't know
see why
enough
they do
about
that.
Venezuela to know what could happen. The issue is it's going to be the same issue as always, is that Trump is a retard. So you have to look to other players in the region to see what their motivation is, because they're going to be the ones that are running shit against us. And then you have to look at the competing factions in the White House to see what their interests are. So you would look to like the Miller faction. You would look to Vance and see what him and his stooges want. You'd look to fucking Rubio, who's fighting for whatever shred of dignity or life or morality he has there.
Rubio's the only person that I know. Like I know his position for sure. It's obviously completely positive. And during that same speech that Trump gave, where he was talking about a second strike or whatever, they commented on Cuba, and it seems like that's what I shouldn't say seems like, but that Rubio was talking about like, oh, if I was a government official in Cuba, I'd be really scared right now. I would be wary. And Trump was saying that Cuba's terrible or whatever. So I know that Rubio's generally in support of it, just because it'll lead to like a forced transition of Cuba.
Yeah, but we have to
I'm
be
not
careful
sure-
because like I don't know what Rubio is going to say just to like stay in power, because it might be that if I can't believe I'm saying that. My favorite description ever, I don't know if I said this to you or not, but like my favorite description ever of Rubio when like all of the cabinet is sitting together is that Rubio is the only person there who knows he's going to hell and everybody else is just fucking
True.
evil. And maybe I might be over-indexing so hard on other things or whatever, but I feel like Rubio would be the only semi-sane person in that entire administration that could hold together any semblance of coherent foreign policy understanding. I would trust Rubio with it 1 trillion times more than anyone else. Now, you have to be careful. Rubio is Cuban, right?
Yep.
You have to be careful because people coming from South America or from Cuba can have really bad opinions about South America or South American countries. I think that's pretty normal. But Rubio's not an idiot, and he has a better understanding and grasp of foreign affairs and the world than anybody in the fucking Trump White House does. I'm sorry. All that to say that like Rubio might say some shit publicly because he knows if he comes out and he steps out against Trump, he's just gone, and he won't have the ability to do anything. But
I guess it's possible that he's like just hiding his power level or trying to stay in power, like for sure. I guess I can't reconcile that. Why would he help support Rodriguez instead of Machado? Like remember, these are left-wing authoritarians, so you would think Rubio would be in favor of like a more right-wing opposition leader. I get like for me at least, it seems like maybe I agree that he's trying to hold on to power just because he wants it, but to me it seems like he doesn't give a fuck about the outcome, as long as they get to Cuba. Like who cares?
well,
about
isn't
Venezuela?
that
That's how it
well?
comes off to me.
Not to be fucking tanky, but like, unfortunately, isn't that kind of been the at least during the Cold War, wasn't that kind of the U.S. approach to South America? Who the fuck cares about the people as long as the leaders are loyal to us? Arguably, it's been the approach a little bit to the Middle East, right? Who cares about the leaders as long as the monarchs are faithful to U.S. interest? Like this is where your real imperialism arguments come in, right? But
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's a
I
little-
don't know what I don't know what the end game. Here's what I don't know, and I still don't know the answer to it. I don't know if you have an opinion. I don't know why Trump hates Maduro so much. I don't know what the thing is. I don't know if Maduro said he had a small dick or what. I don't know where that. It seems like he has some personal seething fucking hatred for him, and I just don't know where it comes from.
I'm not sure either. I looked it up. Maduro never he never said anything too crazy about Trump. Whenever Trump would do something that was like anti communist or anti-socialist, he would just say like some generic like, oh yeah, this is bad. But it's no different than like condemnations of America by Putin or by Xi or by Kim Jong-un or whatever. Like it's all the same shit. My theory, what it seems to be like Trump is setting up for is like, it might just be a projection of strength. Like he just wants to look tough. And somebody, maybe Rubio, mentioned that like Maduro would be like an easy target since he's so close to America. He's widely disliked. It might just be like an easy way to get a free dunk.
What is the Republican establishment? What has their response been, or more specifically, like the Republican Congress? Has Mike Johnson or Thune, have any of these people said anything today about any of this? Do we have any response from the Republicans in Congress about this?
I'm not sure. I was
It
reading
just
the
happened
Guardian.
like maybe 6 hours ago. Is the Trump
Yeah, I know,
speech.
but I'm curious if there have been any total
I'm not
dick
sure if there has
sucking.
been.
Dude, these guys have to be. These people need to be exiled, bro.
Yep.
It can't be that we have a party in this country that operates this way, where like literally the president can do anything he wants, and on our side we're endlessly fucking critical of every single fucking little thing that happens. It's just so unbelievably. Massey is against it.
It's not
Stop
good.
blinking. I don't give a fuck about Massey. Obviously, he's against. That's fine. But I'm looking for like more. Like, yeah, oh my God, it's okay, Destiny. Massey and Rand Paul have come out and spoken against. Okay, great. That's great. That's fine. Like, give me more Republicans. We need more
Mike
Republicans.
Johnson. Fucking,
Well, that'd be a lot. But oh, hold on. What did Thune say? For years, Nicolas Maduro, the cartel okay, don't care. Fucking loser. Yeah, these just need to get.
sucking
Bro,
it,
I'm
sucking the dick.
not Fed posting. I'm not gonna.
Don't Fed
I'm not
post.
gonna
All right,
Fed
Case,
post.
we're doing an Asmongold segment,
All right,
so I'm gonna have to get you out of here for a
love you,
bit.
buddy.
All right, peace out.
GG. All right, Melt Mods. Welcome.
How are you?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I can only hear my kind
Yep,
of stuff.
just mute his stream. Here you go.
Yep. All right. Yeah, what are we getting into, I guess?
You're an Asmongold fan. Do you have any issue with the fact that he gets all of his news from just scrolling his algorithmically generated Twitter feed? Do you think that might be a really bad way to, or that you might be getting a very biased perception of what's going on in the world if that's how you get your news?
Yes, but also that's generally how most lay people get their information in America, is it not? Like
Yeah, it
he's
is,
on
but
par
don't we
with
expect-
every other person who's going to be consuming his content.
Yeah, but wouldn't we want more from somebody who's delivering content? Like, wouldn't we expect them to be more informed or be putting in more work to be knowledgeable on a thing rather than just like, isn't Asmongold's like delivery of news the equivalent of him having a bunch of friends crowding around saying like, let's scroll my Twitter together?
Yeah, but I guess people are watching him produce news content, but they're watching it for the entertainment of his content, not to be informed.
Well,
right? Like,
no, I don't agree
they
with that.
want to
They're
see
being
him go
informed.
through yeah, they are getting informed by his Twitter feed, which is what they're getting entertained by, and want him to continue to, you know what I mean? Like, I want Asmongold to run through his Twitter feed and tell me the things that are going to get me upset and or like happy that like, oh, I'm finding this fraud from this guy who makes a video.
Do you care about knowing if things are like true or not true, or is it just about the entertainment purpose at the end of the day? Like, wouldn't you rather know if a thing is true or not true?
I mean, at the end of the day, does it matter? Like, the government
it?
is going to act on it regardless of if it's true, right? So
wouldn't we want the government
if
acting on
anything,
true
it's almost
things
better
rather
to-
than not true things?
well, that's how we used to do things, but not in Trumpistan, right? Like, I think you're too wedded to the idea that this is still America. It's like the country has changed now. It's like the idea that, like, if you were still
Wait,
a
shouldn't
British
we- shouldn't-
colonist,
hold on,
going,
you're-
like,
you're doing
isn't
the-
this how
wait,
we should be doing things because we have a monarch? And not, we're, like, in America going, like, no, we don't do it that way anymore.
Okay, so then shouldn't we be advocating to go back to when we were having like real information? Wouldn't that be a better state of affairs?
Better as in, like, the
As in-
Iraq War and things like that. Like, people don't believe in that, like, method of thinking anymore because it produced outcomes that people were not happy with.
Because some
So
bad
they've
things
given
happen.
up.
So if some bad things happen, we have to ditch the whole thing.
Yeah, just like monarchy. Like, we were, like, British people were happy having a king when it was like William the Conqueror and they were like doing great things by having a king. But then when bad things happen with a king, you want to get rid of it. Exactly like how people are like, well, America was great for a while, but it started falling
When did
into a
America
quagmire
become-
and not being
wait,
able to solve its own problems. So
Wait.
we're getting rid of that system. We're doing the Trump system now.
When did
He
America
gets to
become?
decide what's
When did
right,
America
and we
become?
like
Wait,
that.
when did America become not great? What problems were we not able to solve that you think we can solve now with Trump?
I'm sorry. So, like the Iraq War, the financial crisis, the unemployment, that's what I'm saying is that all these other people who don't think the way that you do, where like logic and facts and knowledge like win out, other people want to feel the catharsis of somebody who's doing something about those things rather than like thinking it through or
Okay, so like the
wanting to
Iraq
solve
War
it like
was
intelligently.
the Iraq War was bad. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But like, so because a bad thing happened, we're going to ditch the concept of truth, and we're just going to become the most like postmodern, crazy, like existing country on the planet now to see how that works. Like, why would we expect that to work out better?
I'm not claiming that it would work out better. It's just what the American citizenry want. That's why they elected
I
Trump.
agree
after he
that
tried
that's
to
what they
screw the
want. I'm not
government.
here to do a descriptive thing. I'm here to do a prescriptive thing. I'm here to look for a defense of it. I think it's bad. You agree? If you agree that it's just bad, then we don't disagree. But
Right. I mean, I think it's a little bit bad, but it's also the country that I live in now, right? Like I don't have the ability to go back to old America.
But we literally
I'm
do. We can.
living
Well,
in the
not, hold
America
on.
where Trump,
We're not going back. We don't have to go back to
running the
old
country.
America, but we can choose a path forward. And one is where we believe in true things, and the other is where we just say random stupid shit and like nothing matters. Right? We don't
understand,
have to
but
become postmodern
saying
and not
random
believe in
stupid
any.
shit and nothing matters makes people happy. That's why they continue to vote for that, right? Like the amount of people who are freaked out over this whole Maduro and Venezuela and whatever thing is dwarfed by the people who are just like, yeah, bad guy gone, right? Like,
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Do
I
you think,
understand
do you
that,
think,
like,
I don't,
you
hold on,
are
wait.
still thinking like an old
Oh.
British colonialist, but the idea is that, like, all these other people have moved on from that,
Okay.
regardless of how stupid it is.
Okay, so you
Right?
agree?
Like,
If you're
that's
just
how
here
we're
to give me,
thinking about
are you just here to describe why people think the way they do, or are you here to defend it?
Well, I am defending it. I'm saying that if
No.
this is
You're saying this is the current
country
state of
that I'm
affairs.
going to
I
live
know
in,
that.
I have to embrace it and be an American now. I have to understand that, like, this is not how the old way things are going to be. This is how
Why do you have
things
to?
are going to be going forward.
Why do you have to embrace it? Why isn't part of being an American pushing for change?
It is. We're pushing for this change that is how Trump is doing things now.
Why can't we? We have another election coming up where we can choose different leaders. Why shouldn't we push in a different direction?
I mean, good luck. I mean, I don't know how. Like, you just talked to the guy previously who it didn't matter to him what the video showed or whatever. He was adamant that these are the things that are problems and that this is the man who's going to solve them. If you're not providing people with that feeling, then you're just not going to end up winning. I mean, the
Sure,
idea that
but
the
then you-
January
then you-
6th
then
coup
you-
didn't matter enough to limit the things because people were getting the catharsis of it doesn't matter how much we're thinking or logic or news or info. I want this done and solved because I feel that. You know what I mean? It's like the reverse
you
of
keep
Ben
describing.
Shapiro.
You keep
Your
describing.
facts
You
can
keep
never change my feelings.
I understand. You keep just describing things. Okay, I don't disagree that this is how people are feeling. But what I'm pushing against is that I think people should feel differently and that we should advocate for people feeling differently because none of these problems are going to get solved with whatever weirdo system we're trying right now. And people need to be ready for what comes next because this isn't going to work. Like
I mean,
Trump is not going to solve any of the problems that people have now. All of them are getting worse. Nothing is getting solved under Trump. And people need to be aware of that. And then I think we need to push against people like creators like Asmongold who are pretending that things will get better or who are making bad predictions or who don't seem to understand what's going on. And to say like, hey, maybe like, look, we can see that this isn't going to work. And look, it's not working. Like we should try something different. Maybe one of those things could be like believing in true things again. Because if we don't even understand the world around us, how could we possibly, work to fix it or change it?
I mean, I would have agreed in the past, but now true is just what people believe it. I mean, like when that guy watched that dude's video, he now believes that that is true. That is what the truth is to him, right? And to all these other voters who now, are
I
moving
understand.
away from the system that we had in the past.
Yes, you keep
what I don't
describing
understand
it.
is that I can't not embrace the world as it is versus the world as I want it to be.
Why?
Right? I mean, I would
you
like to
literally
not
push.
have to-
Part of being an American is pushing for a different world. We got rid of slavery. We gave women the right to vote. We have civil rights. What do you mean? We can change the country. I don't understand why you're saying it's like
I
inevitable.
agree that we can change it. It got changed. That's what I'm trying to
It
get you
keeps
to
changing. It's not a
understand, is that
one-time thing. It's been changing since the start of the country. What do you mean?
I don't know how to argue against we have changed from the way you wanted it to be to the way that you don't want it to be.
Because
I know that you want to go back.
It's not about going
But
back.
good luck.
It's
I mean, every day there are new people who are born who never even knew or understood the system that you want it to be like. Every day they're living in a system in which now Trump can randomly snatch a dude out of Venezuela.
Okay, so you agree
Right? Like,
then that
that is
basically
how
the
they will-
American democratic experiment is over then, right? Like whatever comes next is going to be another country leading, China or somebody else, and that America is basically on its way out then? And that's a foregone conclusion and you wouldn't try to change that? It's just, that's it?
No, I'm saying that America as like its
The
system.
path that you're
right,
on,
won't
they say
nearly
the
be as
path that you're saying that
democratic
we're on
anymore,
right
but it
now, the
will
path that you're
continue
saying
as
that we're on right
America.
now is not sustainable. We won't be able to sustain ourselves.
I guess that remains to be seen.
It doesn't remain to be seen. We have a Health and Human Services Secretary who doesn't believe in medicine. We have a president who doesn't believe in democracy. We have an alcoholic dude running the DOD who takes orders from Trump to kidnap foreign leaders. We've got a Department of Homeland Security Secretary who doesn't know what habeas corpus is. We have an attorney general who doesn't know how to appoint attorneys who are having her cases dropped because Lindsey Halligan was illegally appointed. Like, this doesn't work going forward. We can't. The Congress isn't doing anything. We have a guy who said he was going to lower the deficit. We got the one big beautiful bill. The deficit's gotten larger. Nothing is working. Nothing is working on this front. I don't know how you could say, well, we'll see what happens. Nothing is happening. It's all getting worse.
It's not working as a democracy, but it's still a country. That's kind of my
and everything is
analogy
getting worse. Everything is getting worse. So it's failing. So if you believe that this is inevitable and we can't change it, then the American experiment has essentially failed, and now we're waiting to see what country or thing steps up next. Is what it sounds like you're saying.
No, we've changed the parameters of the experiment. This experiment is still ongoing. We're just not doing it in the way that we used to as a democracy.
Do you think the way forward is going to be better or worse?
Likely worse, given the trending of America since I was born.
Okay, so if we think it's going to get worse, don't we kind of have an obligation as Americans to try to change it? Why can't we change the trajectory
mean,
the country is on?
Even if I grant you that, again, you're in the position of being the British colonial after America took hold. You're not getting it back. I don't think you've grasped it yet.
No, I don't think you've grasped it because you're using an example of like geopolitics and how the world used to be run. I'm talking about like adherence to things like basic scientific truth or understanding when a thing is true or false. These are not the same types of things. You can't regret. Funnily enough, Trump is the one who's saying we need to go back to a manufacturing economy. We need to go back to having huge tariffs with the entire world. We need to go back. Trump is the one saying that we need to regress. So why is he right to say that we should regress in so many different ways? We need to go back to the racial demographics. We need to go back to the birth rates we had before.
He's only right in the sense that he's taking actions that nobody can prevent him from doing.
So we take
right?
actions
Like,
then by voting for different leadership, right? That's the whole point, and encouraging people to vote for different leadership.
Yeah. And then what leadership did you get? You got him. You did that.
Yeah, so we're pushing. So now the push is to make people realize that Trump is not working. It's not working how they wanted it to. That's why you should vote for different leadership next time. You don't always win the elections you push for. It doesn't mean you give up.
I am not saying give up. I'm saying that the actions that you're proposing to take just aren't going to work anymore. Like how could you even understand like the idea you win your election, you beat, or either Trump dies or comes out of office or whatever. How does anyone step back into the mantle of an American administration after what Trump has done to it over just the past year, let alone what he's going to do for the next 3 years, and somehow reverse that tanker back to the direction that it was pointing before versus holy crap, I have 10% of NVIDIA that Trump stole, and I'm sitting with Maduro in my jail and a billion other things that it's like, this isn't the country anymore. It's not America like it was.
There are ways to do it, but whatever those ways are, it starts with an acknowledgement of the problem. And if we can't get people to acknowledge that, hey, this wasn't okay, this is not good, if we need less Asmongolds and more Adam Mocklers, okay, we have to get people to realize, hey, this is a bad thing. And then when more people realize that, then they vote for different things in the future. That's how.
I think the fundamental issue, though, is that there's like the overarching good, capital G good, and then what's good for individuals and or like their own interests. So, right, when people feel the catharsis of Trump administration pulls all the funding for every daycare center everywhere in America, right, that feels good to an absurdly huge amount of people in America. Right, like. Do you ever
do any recreational drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, those feel good, right? But they don't feel good forever. And at some point, you have to realize you have to put down the needle, put down the crack pipe, put down the meth, whatever, right? And be like, okay, well, this works for a little bit, but it's not solving our problems forever, right? Yeah. Does Trump stuff feel good? Sure, it does, but it's not going to make any of these people's lives better. It's not going to fucking fix anything. It's not going to give them better paying jobs. It's not going to fix the economy. It's not going to make housing more affordable. It's not going to do any of those things. And the goal is to make people realize that. Like, hey, notice how none of your shit is getting cheaper. Notice how you're not magically getting better jobs. Notice how we're not magically getting better trade deals. Like, the goal is to make them realize that as quickly as possible so that we can move on to the next thing that actually fucking works.
I guess the only thing I can say to that is from taking good luck. I mean, I don't see how you're not grasping the fundamental divide between the things that we think are good as far as good outcomes and the things that we believe are good because it gives us catharsis, and that's what we want is the catharsis. How many people, right? I mean, your minimal size of this is trying to figure out how do people figure out the catharsis side of watching Asmongold all the time. I'm telling you, it's because he doesn't think about things. He literally feels a feeling and he says, you know what, deport all these Somalis or whatever else. And then us watchers go, oh, you know what, that feels good because I'm not smart enough to think of solutions. I don't need to be worried about solutions. I need to worry about solve the problem as quickly, as easily, as uncomplicated as possible. I don't have the mental power to be worried about those.
I understand that, but I think there's something baked into that catharsis, and I think the baked in thing is that people assume that it is going to lead to something better. I don't think it feels as cathartic if time goes on and people start to realize, oh wait, nothing is actually getting better. All of this is just kind of like showmanship bullshit, and we didn't get any of the things that we wanted. And I think making people realize that quicker moves people away from feeling cathartic about that thing. We can't do politics like it's WWE,
I would agree
right?
with
Like,
that, except the COVID response and remembrance of COVID kind of proves it reverse, right? I mean, the idea that you can't even get people to acknowledge that Trump was president during the COVID lockdowns and whatever, they literally only remember that he gave them a Trump check.
yeah, but part
see
of
what I'm
that,
saying?
part
Like-
of the reason for that is because of people like Asmongold, right? Part of the reason for that is because of all of these bad actors on the conservative media side that try to rewrite history constantly.
Exactly. I think they're successful in doing so.
Yeah, but we should make
They're
them
an
not successful.
entertainment
Why
source,
you
but
pretend you're just
successful.
we don't have to just be passive observers of American culture. We all participate in it, no?
I mean, we do, but I'm one of 300 million people in here. So regardless
So is
of
everybody
even
else.
if you change, they are. You're not reaching them. I don't. Asmongold is reaching them by this, like you said, like a low IQ take. It is reaching the low IQ populace, of which we have millions of people that seem to dwarf the people who think like you do, where it's like, oh, I got to worry about what is the number coming out of this Nick Shirley video and is it accurate, and is nobody's worried about that. Or like, you know, on a scale, right, it's 80-20 or it's 60-40 or whatever. You're not.
Then we can make low IQ
And
videos
people
that
with
fight on the other
massive-
side then, I guess, if we want to do that. If that's the solution, then that's the solution. If it's literally...
That probably is the solution, is not to be making, you know, oh, we got to do a deep dive, blah, 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 of this Nick Shirley video. You got to go make a low IQ video of.
Sure. Then you know
I don't
what? And
know,
listen, that might be the solution. That's fine. But at the very least, then, I'm going to push on my platform for people to at least understand that Asmongold is giving low IQ takes, because I don't think a lot of these people think that. I think a lot of them think they're getting the high IQ shit and they're giving the high IQ takes when they're just getting a guy basically saying, like, I trust my gut over gay books. Like, that's like Asmongold in 12 words.
Right. But so, like, I guess you have to hide that. It's like Ben Shapiro, right? Like, Ben Shapiro isn't as stupid as the points that he goes out and puts on his like videos every single day, but he knows to be making those low IQ videos, and he also knows not to come out and be like, hey, everybody who's consuming my content, they're pretty low IQ, right? You
Okay, so that's fine.
got to pick a lane and stick with it.
Okay. All right. I got you.
All right. Thank you, Melt Mods. We're gonna pull someone else up.
Wait, okay.
All right,
I'm going to
thanks.
get a Red Bull. My
Yeah.
first and only of the
Yep.
day. Hold on.
This content brought to you by Anything Else. You'll be able to find the full VOD on our YouTube channel. Zip, zip, zip.
Bro, these guys are really stupid.
Oh yeah, very good
I've been
content.
having to vet them. They're just at least one of them is fucking Russian. I have no idea. But like because I've been asking like, oh, just a screenshot of like your YouTube history or your fucking whatever, and one of them sent me a screenshot their YouTube like, oh look, I've been watching Asmongold and the YouTube is in Russian. So Jesus Christ, there's a lot of retards here, but
Yeah,
seems like it's good content. What I've been able to catch.
big retards.
Can we not have
And the Venezuela
describers?
shit is just-
Can we not have what?
Describers? Like people that
Yeah,
just
I
come
can
in and
try
they're
and
like,
get 'em out
they're like,
sooner.
well, this is just what it is. Like that. I'm not looking for this. This is not the answer I'm looking for.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'm pulling in the next guy. Comic Cowboy.
That's you. Just
Comic Cowboy, welcome. You were muted. Take your time. Go ahead.
I've been sitting here watching the stream and kind of giggling, bro. Honestly, because it's fucking y'all. The things that are making you so pressed and upset, I'm excited about. Like fucking, we are so back, baby. Let's go. And you guys are like sad and coping and seething, and I fucking love every second of it. The Schadenfreude is fucking next level, dude.
Okay.
For real.
2 questions. First, are you 21 or 22?
Oh, really? That I'm actually 39. How
Okay,
about
and then
that?
second question, how long you been watching Fuentes for?
Not at all.
Okay,
Look that little bitch.
go next. Give me the next one, Moon.
Oh, all right. So thank you, Comic Cowboy.
What? What? Because I don't like fucking Nick Fuentes. I'm out.
No, this is not a. I don't know if there's a real argument or not.
Of course, I can. Let's do this, bro. I'm here.
Okay, sure. Super basic one. How do you feel about the fact that the government deficit didn't go down? That Trump failed monumentally in doing anything about the debt? The one big beautiful bill is a lie.
Nothing has happened as of yet.
No. Hold on. Hold on.
Instantaneously happened.
Doge failed, right? Do you admit that Doge completely and totally failed?
I don't admit that it completely and totally failed because it did remove government waste.
No, it
just didn't keep going.
No, it didn't.
Stop.
There was no government waste, fraud, or abuse.
No?
Nope.
USAID.
That's not waste, fraud, or abuse. No, that wasn't. And the deficit still increased. The spending still went up, so it didn't matter. Yeah.
So we fundamentally disagree on what's
on definitions of words.
No.
Do you think that waste? Do you think waste is program I don't like? Is that waste?
If it's maybe if it's spent on Somali children that don't actually exist in daycares, absolutely.
Oh, so you're saying that Elon Musk identified that? Can you point me to where he did that?
No,
oh, okay. So what you just said was totally wrong. So what you just said was totally wrong, and had nothing to do with USAID. So USAID, if you don't like it, that's fine, but that's not waste. It's just a program you don't like.
Okay.
Okay. So Doge failed. Yeah.
But no, that's not failed, because if it's something that I don't think should be funded, then why wouldn't I want it cut from the budget?
You can want it cut. That's fine. It's just not waste. That's not waste.
If I view it as waste, it's waste.
It's definitionally not waste. It's just a program you don't like.
If it's money for gay Pakistani fucking tickling, what do I care? What do I care? Why are we funding anything outside of the world that isn't directly helping us?
Sure,
here?
You can think that, but it doesn't make it waste. It's just a program you don't like.
No. It's waste if I don't think it's worth anything. That's waste. You throw things
but whether or not it's worth anything, it definitionally comes down to what the program is. So, for instance, let's say somebody spends $50,000 on a new Mustang, and I think Mustangs are bad cars, and I'm like, wow, that guy wasted his money. LOL. Well, it's not really. That's not waste. He just spent it on something that I don't like. Now, let's say that he bought that same.
If he bought it with your money,
hold on. Let's say that he bought. Sure, but it's not.
If he bought it with your money, is the difference.
Sure.
Right?
No, kind of. But let's say. Wait. I understand. Let's say that
how the government spends my money is my business.
Sure. Let's say that he spent $100,000 on that same Mustang because he had to spend $50,000 on a middleman guy to go and find it for him or whatever. I might say, well, that seems like actual waste. There was a middleman involved here that just seemed like he was getting a lot of money for this, and he wasn't really providing much of a service. That would be wasteful spending. So waste is not just like a thing I don't like it's some kind of inefficiency or some kind of duplicate thing or something that's not providing any value, whereas you're saying that waste is just a program I don't like.
No, I'm not saying a program I don't like. I'm saying a program that is not worth anything to the American taxpayer.
That's fine, but that's not what the American... That we voted for people that installed that program. That was part of legally existing stuff. USAID was a legally existing part of the executive branch that did stuff that was legally authorized. Whether you like it or not, you can't just call it. You can't just say it's waste because you didn't like it.
And now it's gone.
That's fine.
Now it's gone. So
Doge's job.
Make a new one
Doge's job was not to get rid of waste. Doge's job was not to get rid of programs you don't like. It was to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, which they found none of. It was a failure.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a failure. It failed.
The government's known for being super efficient and never fraudulent.
How embarrassing that the government has such a bad reputation and Elon Musk found nothing. Is that a little bit humiliating to you that the government, that he had the keys to go through every department and couldn't find a single fucking example that wasn't already listed in some Office of Inspector General report? Isn't that kind of humiliating or embarrassing?
Cowboy? Hello?
Okay.
All right. I mean, he ran, I guess.
Oh my God, bro.
All right, Bent. Hello.
Yo, can you hear me?
What's up? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my take, one of the previous guys said that you would celebrate if Biden did the same thing. So I think maybe I understand the reason why he has that impression. Because of your like inconsistent, I guess, view on the like whole like Trump situation and the shutdowns. Like basically, you could say that maybe you're like a Democratic lapdog or something, or I guess Democrats in this case.
What do you? I don't know what you just. I have no idea what you just said on the shutdowns. What do you mean?
Okay, do you remember your stream with on Week TV with like Prime and Honor?
Okay. Or what? Or just tell me
you
what
had
is what is the position that you think I had or have that on shutdowns or whatever that is.
Well, on shutdown, you had a position that is, I guess, too many lives would be like wasted if you continue shutdown because they will starve.
The 2 million lives?
Too many lives.
Too many lies?
Yeah, it's gonna be like a sacrifice basically of human lives if you continue the shutdown because they're gonna run out of food.
Was that ever my position?
Yeah, I think. Like you said, it was a good thing that Democrats ended it early.
Are you a DGGer?
Not really. I mean, I did watch Destiny a lot in preparation.
Wait, have I? I'm trying to. Have I ever given this position before? Were people going to mass starve if the shutdown continued? That was people are saying that this was a Hutch position.
Okay, what was your position then? Maybe I didn't understand it.
I don't even know at the time what my position. I'm trying to remember because COVID was a long time ago.
Or maybe I can remind with a couple of quotes then.
Okay.
Okay, so before the shutdown, you said the Democrats needs to be unified in their messaging, and they can't be fucking backstabbing each other constantly on media with a whole bunch of liberal simps looking to get brownie points from independent and center-right losers by constantly second-guessing and undermining their own side. It has to be a strong democratic unified response. And after the shutdown, you had this take. You have to take a very nuanced political view of what's going on. You can have an optimal strategy that gives outs to different members of your political class, your elected politicians, even those who are not directly involved. So, for instance, it could be that optimal political path could be we are doing the shutdown, but also Gavin Newsom is going to shit talk about doing the shutdown.
Okay. What is the contradiction between these two positions? In one, I'm saying you have to have a unified democratic response, and in the other one, I'm justifying having a non-unified democratic response. Is that what you're saying?
In this case, yes, but I...
Okay, wait. So let me explain real quick the difference between those two statements. So the first statement is that the Democrats need to not be backstabbing each other constantly or running from at the first sign of fear and throwing other Democrats under the bus. Okay, right? That's my first statement, right? My second statement is that there might be times when strategically some Democrats vote no on a thing or have some statement that appears to attack other Democrats, but this is a thing that they are coordinating. So even if that might appear as though they're like quote unquote backstabbing each other, it's not really. They're still working together to further Democratic Party interests. Like when AOC or Rashid Tlaib, like vote no, or when Bernie Sanders says a thing about some particular thing, and I understand he's saying it to appease his constituents, but they're not like the deciding vote on a thing. Like I don't think that that's backstabbing the Democrats or not working together. They're doing what they need to appease their constituency, but we're still like moving towards a common goal. That's different than Al Franken like having to resign from the fucking Senate over that stupid picture or whatever, which I think was just a dumb thing. Or somebody like Fetterman who just seems to constantly be shitting on Democrats.
So was it a good thing that Democrats ended the shutdown early by caving in?
Was it a good thing that I don't even know 100% what that, because I feel like that process was a little bit staggered, right? So for instance, like unemployment insurance ended in some states early and not in other states. And I don't even remember what the overall feeling on that was. At the time, my feelings on my biggest issues with stuff, here are my two biggest issues with stuff related to the shutdown. One is that everybody on the conservative side just assumed that it was all being done to establish a new world order and to control American lives and to fucking mass murder everybody or something retarded. Okay, it was the first thing. And then the second thing was a refusal to acknowledge that shutdowns reduced the amount of infectivity. They did. It's an undeniable fact that shutdowns and distancing and masking all worked to reduce infectivity. And you can see that in places, especially like in New Zealand or especially in Australia. Now, that being said, were they done, like, was the school shutdown idea good? Maybe not. Could they have ended earlier or gone later? Maybe. I don't know if I ever had I don't even know if today I have super strong opinions on what that should have looked like. I just was very irritated that every time somebody made a decision about anything, the Republicans were there basically accusing people of trying to mass murder people or incarcerate people in their homes. They're just banning, like, going to the gym or places of worship or whatever. That was the issue.
All right, Ben.
Well,
I'm gonna.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
No, wait, hold on. I'm so sorry. Wait, hold on. Forget everything I just said. Just eject all of that. My bad. Let me reset my brain. You're talking about the government shutdown. You're not talking about I'm thinking lockdown. I'm thinking of the COVID lockdowns.
Yes.
Okay. Eject everything I just said. I'm sorry. Can you restate your position, what you just said? My bad.
Well, my first position is basically that you basically took whatever position the Democratic Party needed at that point. Like, you had your own maybe thoughts before the shutdown, but after that you said basically, oh, it's a good thing that they ended it early.
Okay, hold on. I need to move out of COVID mode. I think my position, if I remember correctly, my position was that ending it when they did was a good idea, because I think they had some solid wins, and that if they ended it at that point, it was just an easy thing to say, like, look, we got solid wins, and then, we moved on right after that to the Epstein file thing, and then, we've got other stuff on the table, like the revote, supposedly in the ACA, and those subsidies would be expiring. I generally thought it was good. Did I say something opposite to this?
Before the shutdown, I guess I should ask you, do you consider that the thing Democrats did, or was that a backstabbing, or trying to get a brownie points from independent and center-right losers?
The shutdown, was that trying to get brownie points from independents or center-right losers? No, I don't think so.
And that wasn't backstabbing from the other side, right?
Wait, who's backstabbing who in this case, if we're saying it's backstabbing?
I guess those 8 Democrats that caved in.
Oh, because there were a few that voted to end the shutdown and the others didn't. Well, I don't think it was backstabbing, because it seems like that definitionally, we can agree or disagree with it, but I don't think it was backstabbing, right? It seemed like that was planned by the Democratic establishment, right?
Do you know that?
I think, statistically speaking, I think almost 100%, yeah, it was. Because, the 8 people that voted, either, it was, the 8 that didn't have elections coming up or weren't running or something like that. It was almost 100%, a planned thing for the 8 that defected on the vote, for sure, right? Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm almost positive that this was, a Chuck Schumer organized thing.
Okay, I guess a little bit sus, but still. But the other contradicting thing that you told is during your week stream with Prime and Connor, you had a very strong position on what should be done to Trump and his supporters. You said basically that you need to charge every elected politician that supported Trump, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and every time people asked you what would happen if most of the people wouldn't want that thing, you said then it's civil war, basically, then, right?
That might have been a little hyperbolic, but I think my ultimate point for that debate was that we should be pushing to make people accept this thing, rather than just, this is where the popularity is right now and we give up on it. I think it's something we should fight harder on or argue further on.
Also, it was basically out of context, right? Like in Hassan's case.
What do you mean out of context?
I mean, should I take your words literally or seriously?
Well, you can take them both. I think the ultimate point that I was making, if I said that it was going to be civil war, what I was saying was that if we make it through this administration and there's no, what would you say, not comeuppance, but there's no mass recognition across the United States that the events of the past whatever 10 years have just been wholly, especially the past 5 years, have been wholly unacceptable and can never be repeated. And there needs to be a recognition and an accounting for the wrong that happened. If that doesn't happen, then the country, I think, is inevitably headed towards some type of civil war scenario, because the Conservative Party has just fractured so far out of reality. We're already past so many points. We've already accepted so much crazy shit. Like, we just deposed a foreign leader today of a sovereign country, and no one seems to care. But I mean, that would be my position. Yeah.
Is that really the only possible outcome? Like, if you don't judge Trump and his supporting crew, then there will be a civil war?
This is your final question. We're going to move on. You're
I
not
mean,
an Asmund viewer.
Is that the only possible? No, I mean, I'm sure there are other possible, like, politics is hugely complicated. I'm sure there's a million things that theoretically could happen, but it seems like conservative politics have been trending in this direction for a long time, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't see it ever having reset over the past decade and a half. Or over the past decade. So why would I assume that trajectory is not going to change? I don't see any reason to. I feel like it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse.
All right. Thank you, Ben.
Okay.
Non-Asmund viewer.
Nerd. You're a nerd.
In here. Gabriel Mack. Hello?
Hello.
All right, go ahead. Hey, just to confirm, you are an Asmund viewer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Destiny. Nice to be in here. I'm not the best debater, but I've been watching you since 2024. So I've just made a couple of notes while you were talking to those people about some different things you're talking about. But we'll start with Asmund. I do not believe that Asmund is as far right wing as you think he is. Maybe socially, but definitely not economically. And he actually gets in arguments or talks to his chat about it pretty often.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's kind of like an economic populist, so it's not going to be like far right. It's just going to be
Not
like
really.
What?
Not really a populist. I think he's a socialist. He says.
I mean, I depending on how you view socialism or populism, I mean, that's kind of the same thing, I think.
Okay. I mean, well, right there, he's not like super right wing, and he only and I don't what all he does is talk about America, like just the American people, and want to put the American people first before putting other people first. Like, how is that just bad for people?
Well, I mean, definitionally, I mean, like, what is his definition of American people? Because it feels like he thinks that certain people, so like if you're a Somali American, you're just as American as anybody else if you're an American citizen, but he seems to think that those people aren't, or that like ethnically you can trace people that aren't. So I don't know what he means by that.
I think he thinks that they were. It's like kind of like how Trump says illegal immigrants, but he's talking about, or the illegal aliens, but he's also uses like asylum seekers or parolees, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but anybody can be American. Like when Trump says American, he doesn't say white Americans. I'm mixed, and I've never felt listening to Trump that he wasn't talking about me.
What is your other? You're mixed what?
Black and white.
Okay. When you say black, like of African American descent, or do you have like family from like Kenya?
Yeah,
or
African American.
Okay.
No, African American.
They don't usually attack African Americans, but like my question would be, of all the ethnic groups that Trump and MAGA have attacked, has it ever been a white one, or has it always been darker ones? So Haitians, Muslims, Venezuelans, the recently with Somali Americans.
No, that's a good point. But he like as a I guess a stand-in for that is just liberals that like that to Trump that's an ethnicity. He probably would think so.
That
like,
what?
That's just that's the same characteristics. It's just a group of people. It's not because they're a different color. It could be for any reason.
Is it kind of weird?
He banned.
I'm trying to remember.
He's banned Russians from coming.
Did he?
To America. Yeah. Recently, there's a few different countries, but Russians were on the list.
I feel like there was one country that he. I don't think he banned Russians from coming to the States. There might have been a few Russians, but I don't think. I feel like I would have heard this.
No, I think he stopped. Yeah, I think he stopped Russians. Russians can't apply for
countries with full restrictions: Afghanistan, Burkina Faso, Burma, Chad, Equatorial New Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Laos, Libya, Mali, Niger, Republic of the Congo, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, Yemen. Individuals traveling on Palestinian Authority issued or endorsed travel documents are also full suspension of entry. I'm not seeing Russia on here at all.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was a bunch of African countries. And
Maybe I.
But then also,
was
like-
misinformed, I guess.
that's okay. I feel like there was one country that I can remember Trump seemed to pay special attention to in terms of like accepting asylum seekers. Do you remember hearing about any countries like that?
Yeah. The South African.
Yeah,
But,
and
I mean, it was only
white
79 people. That was why.
Yeah, but it was such a
And
special
because-
exception carved out for white people from South Africa. Isn't that not like a little
Well,
bit
they
sus?
still let the asylees come, but it was just a special thing that he was doing because that little fallout with the South African president.
Sure.
Trying to make like a big deal about it.
Sure.
Trump was.
But like if there was another ethnic group that got attacked tomorrow by MAGA, do you think it would be a white one or do you think it'd probably be another darker skinned one?
No, it'd probably be darker skinned, and I mean unless there was they were attacking Christians in I don't know some crazy white people country in Europe. If they were just literally attacking Christians, then yeah, he probably would.
Okay.
I mean, the people might not, but I mean, I don't think, and Asman, he even tells his followers like it has nothing to do with race. Even when he'll go on like a rant and one that would be taken as being a racist one normally, like just kind of off the vibes of it, and then somebody in the chat will say something like that, and then he'll like chastise them and tell them like anybody can be like that, and talks about white trash people, like anybody can be like that. It has nothing to do with their skin color. It's their culture. And it's not wrong. Like that's kind of how things are. Like low trust societies. There's a reason why there was like every time around Halloween, there's a thing about Indians in Indian communities that have come here. Now they can't leave candy balls out.
Sure, but
It's
like
just-
you know, it's
just
kind of
what it is
goofy to like for like self ID and trans people, right? Like you're not trans just because you say you are. Or you're not a woman or a man just because you say you are, right? Like, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
kind of the same with racism too. Nobody's gonna say like I'm racist, right? I think we have to. You infer that from actions or behaviors, and they're not usually gonna admit and say like, well, yeah, okay, you're right, I am racist, right?
Right, but the behaviors that would distinguish that from somebody who's a nationalist and just cares about people in their country would be only like just specifically talking about people based on their race, or only talking about certain races, and never had given any grace or passes or.
Well, sure, I
It
guess, but
was-
then like my question would be, isn't it kind of weird to talk about deporting American citizens if they're Mexican Americans or Somali Americans? Like, there's just American citizens, right? Why would we deport them?
Yeah, well, they don't. Anybody, I know at least when Asman talked about deporting American citizens, he never mentioned any race. I don't think Trump's ever mentioned a race. Trump, I think when he brought it up, he was talking about the people like progressives, and that's definitely what Asman was talking about when he mentioned it.
Do you think the Somali community is a
even
progressive
recently-
community, or the Haitian community is very progressive, or that Arabs
No,
that
but
come to the
that's,
United States are very progressive?
No, I thought you were talking about when he first said that. I didn't know they were talking about getting rid of American citizens now. But I except for Rubio was talking about how if you commit fraud and you've been a naturalized citizen, you can be denaturalized.
That's
And I
very.
think they do
that's-
that with all kind of fraud.
Well,
people who commit
so there's a
fraud.
very one of the only ways I believe you can become you can like lose your citizenship for committing a crime is if the crime was like in
If you lied during the
exactly yes. So like that's true, but that's nothing new. But I guess it's just weird to me that if all of the opponents of this administration, and I feel like Asma when else I'm going to talk, the racial groups that they focus on the most are always non-white, and they get to the point to where they're talking about deporting people who are American citizens, which doesn't make sense, right? Where do you deport an American citizen to? But they're non-white. At some point, I just feel like it's kind of weird. It feels like there's a racial component to this.
Well, if the specific group that is being, I guess you say, attacked, if he's talking about a specific group and he's not talking about the enemy of progressives, then he's talking about certain like little factions of people. But they also attack progressives, they attack liberals, they attack Democrats. It's not just they attack demographics. of
Sure,
people.
but like, isn't one of the biggest
just attacking
reasons why
things that
they
are attacked?
Isn't one of the biggest reasons why they attack progressives is because progressives are letting in a lot of the minorities? I feel like that's one of the biggest.
That's not the main reason.
Not the main reason, but I think it's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, they were just letting anybody come through the border. I mean, we do. You even we have a certain culture, and you can't just take in like a large, huge amount of people and let them have an enclave. Then they can't assimilate. They literally won't assimilate.
Didn't this
Like,
definitionally
people said the
happen
same-
though with like Italians and Irishmen during?
That's what I was about to say. They said the same thing would happen then, and they did have enclaves, but I've heard this from people like Orrin McIntyre, so I don't know if it could be have like bad intentions, but it's because they are like we have similar cultures, we have similar languages, so there's not like a huge language barrier to get past. Like it wasn't as big of a leap to go from important.
Didn't they? I mean, like when you talk about like, I feel like Italians are the perfect example of.
Yeah, that would be the biggest difference.
Well, like of everything horrible for an immigrant group, right? They came in. We've got Little Italy's. They literally had some of the maybe the largest organized crime in America. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
like the mafia.
definitely. Yeah, that's why they came up with RICO, just for them.
Yeah. So.
And that's not a good thing. I mean, that was a bad thing, and people didn't like it back then. And it finally worked because we stopped all immigration, or not all, but like a shit ton of our levels of immigration for a while until we were able to assimilate those people. And if you look at it,
I don't think
this
we
all
ever
happened
banned
because
like Italian immigration or stopped all Italians.
no,
from
but
the United
we
States,
we stopped our large scale of like letting people in. I think was it the nationalization or whatever from the 1920s to the 60s, I think, or 40s. They stopped it for a long time because they let in too many people and they weren't assimilating. They were voting as blocks, and that was like a big talking point back then. Like that was a big thing.
Sure. I mean, I guess if people like, wait, real quick. Let me refocus on this. Is like one of my biggest issues. Okay, so let's say that what you're saying, let's just say I grant most of it, okay? And like this was a problem and they solved it. I feel like if you have problems with certain things, like let's say that we think, and honestly, like I would probably grant some of this even, that having like huge groups of a certain type of immigrant, like a certain ethnic group of immigrant living in a certain place, all not speaking English, probably will learn to game the system some way. Like I agree that these are bad things, right? But I feel like when it comes time to like solve those problems, there are conversations we can have about solving the problems, and then there are people that use that conversation maliciously just to push this, like, we need to just deport all of them thing. And I feel like I hear that last thing from Asmongold way more than anything else.
I don't think so.
Like, what is a single thing that
so,
Asmongold has talked about when it comes to like reforming these communities or helping these communities integrate better in the United States? I feel like all I hear from is deport, deport, deport. Even for citizens, deport, deport, deport.
Oh, his goal isn't like he doesn't talk about how to assimilate them. Like that's not really his goal. So, but like, he's fine with legal immigration. I mean, that's part that. I mean, I guess that would be.
Well, but not those people, I guess, right? Because Somali Americans are Americans.
No, they can be integrated, but not. He thinks it's because of the large scale illegal immigration and the parole of them, and the TPS or whatever, all that. Like,
sure.
Actually, you know what? He might actually believe that we shouldn't have, or for a certain amount of time, we shouldn't have any immigration at all. So I don't know, actually.
But I'm just saying that, like, I've never heard him talk about, if all of his talk is about deportations, even of American citizens, Somali Americans, and I've never heard him talk about integration or ways to just stop the crime, and that's it. And it's always focused on, like, the ethnic groups, the national immigrants that are coming over, and then how to deport them and get rid of them. Like, doesn't it feel like it's all pointed in one direction? Like, it doesn't seem like a person
he doesn't make any prescriptions for, even when he talks a lot about other people doing fraud and how bad it is, and like when he talks about the socialist stuff that he talks about.
Sure, but like didn't he? Like, I'm pretty sure he said he wants to stop like all non-white immigration to the United States for a while. He's okay.
I don't think he just said non-white, but I mean he wants all immigration to stop, but like he's not making prescriptions for like how to like just to get rid of certain people because of fraud. He doesn't want like anybody doing fraud. He talks about other people that do fraud. He thinks it's all bad.
If Asmongold would have said, if it was the case that he said we should stop all non-European immigration to the United States, do you think that would be a little sus? Would that make you think like maybe there's like a racial component to this?
I don't think he would have a reason because they're Western societies.
Okay, so then
we don't have a. Go ahead.
Well, if that's how you're mapping it on, then could Asmongold ever make a racist statement? It feels like there's always going to be cover for.
Yeah, if he's just talking about the race, or saying none of these people from this group could ever be come here, or the ones that are here now, all of them that are just from this group of people have to leave. I mean, he's never said anything like that. I don't think he would.
Okay,
And
let's
he
say.
even,
Well, here, let's say this.
caveats.
Let's say that I was racist, but I know that it's like
everybody.
a bad position to have because it's like unpopular. Like,
Yeah, I know
couldn't
what
I
you're
just
saying.
couldn't I just possibly say always like, oh, I just want Western immigration or Christian immigration or European immigration?
He doesn't say that. He hates Christians. He talks. I'm a Christian, but he talks shit about Christians. He thinks they're just as bad as Muslims somehow, even though they're not.
Does he really though?
Starting wars with people? Yeah. I promise you. He even thinks that they're starting even when people in the comments will talk about just Muslims, like when what was it? There was something happened, some kind of conflict or something happening. Oh, well, he watched the stuff in Sudan, and they were talking about people like, it's all Muslims. Everybody in the comments were like, it's always Muslims, only Muslims, and he was like, no, this shouldn't be part of any culture, any religion. He says like Christians do the same thing. That Christians slaughter people, and then somebody tried to have an argument with him about it's been a thousand years since Christians have started wars for that, and he like banned them or muted them, timed them out. But
Sure.
he doesn't. He's just atheist.
Sure. I mean, I'm atheist as well, but I guess
I think one of the reasons why it allows people that have the ulterior motives to even come in, and you're not bad about this, and you even say stuff about it, like because there's people who just refuse to like recognize just the most basic facts of like that thing you just granted earlier, or just for the sake of the argument, like just because people refuse to grant even that little bit and automatically call you racist and stuff. That's why.
why do you think
it
people?
makes
Why
it
do you think
easier for
people
those
get brain
people to
broken on that though?
capture.
Why do you think people like refuse to acknowledge stuff like that?
Well, they've been doing that since before people started being more bold about. I'm only 24, but as far as since I've been paying attention, they've been like that since like before people recently started being able to be more like especially online to where everybody can see it and everybody participates, more open about how they feel about stuff. They've
Yeah,
been
but,
like this.
like, if somebody
I would argue
says-
it was worse.
If somebody says like if you've got a person who, you know, when pushed a little bit reveals themselves, do you look black? I guess you said you're mixed or whatever.
When I was in college in Athens, UGA, people thought I was Mexican. They thought I was Mexican. So I
Okay,
guess
sure.
no,
I guess
no,
like
black,
just like hypothetically,
loose curls.
if you've got a person who's like you're not sure if they're racist or not, but they just say kind of like weird things sometimes, and then something bad happens to them and they like go off on some crazy racist tirade, would you look at that person and think like, oh wow, that last thing that happened just turned them racist? Or would you think like, ooh, I don't know, maybe this is kind of lurking the whole time, right? So like when you say that
and then
like,
I'd
well,
probably remember little things.
sure, yeah. Or when you say like people haven't been like full on like mask off about everything until recently, sure. But I think that like people have like this suspicion, and I agree with you that it's dumb. I think one of the biggest issues that liberals have is sometimes they just can't admit certain things, like black people commit more crime. Like it's a really hard thing for liberals to admit sometimes. But like I understand why it happens when the person on the other side is like, don't you believe that black people have the warrior gene, so they're genetically predisposed to committing more crime? Like when the person like that
that's
is
crazy.
arguing against you, it's really hard to say, yeah, I kind of agree. Black people do commit more crime, because it's like, well, hold on, what am I agreeing to? You know?
Yeah, but like it's always been a culture argument until recently. Like I'd never even heard the genetic argument until
I mean, we say
like,
we
very
can,
recently.
we can
But
call
like
it
even when it was a cultural argument, it was shut down.
we can call it a cultural argument, but when the cultural argument is always seems to be aimed at one direction, like
But it's not like they'll even bring up the white people that act like that or act certain ways.
they even bring well, no,
Like,
but they
people
don't
bring that
really
up
though.
just to
So like
maybe
here's a big
not seem
difference, okay?
racist.
You've heard about like crack cocaine, black neighborhoods, cops need to crack down on it. You've heard about like black people smoking weed was a stereotype when I was younger. I don't know if this is still like a huge stereotype, but like when we talk about black people and drugs, okay, I swear I'm not trying to sound too woke here, but we talk about black people and drugs. This is a black person's problem and it's a policing problem. And that, in my mind, this is basically exclusively how it's talked about. But when white people,
Really?
yes. Do you think it's different, or do you disagree with that?
I know for a fact that you 100% along like in the like before the 90s, like yeah, like for sure, like openly on the news and stuff. Well, not news, maybe like opinion stuff. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Actually, since the 2000s and stuff.
Or what do you mean? What are you disagreeing with me on? Just so I understand or disagree.
Like that it was made to seem like a black people only problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me be more clear.
I've never heard it.
Yeah. Let me be more clear on this. I'm sorry. I don't mean that like only black people smoke weed or whatever, but I'm saying like when these drugs are having really bad impacts on the black community, the two solutions that we give are the cops need to crack down on it, or the black community needs to get its shit together. So we need more black fathers in the household. We need more cops, cracking skulls on the street corners. This is the solution. But then when we look at how the white community's been impacted over the past decade or so with like the mass opiate thing, now it's like we need to invade Venezuela to free white people from this drug, or we need to blame the pharmaceutical companies, or we need to do everything we can because these poor white people are dying of drugs. Nobody is, or at least I don't really ever hear this rhetoric of like, why are you fucking retards dying of fentanyl? Just stop doing drugs. Or like, we need to get cops like crack it down. Like if you go to the hospital and you get out of surgery, then there should be cops visiting your home to make sure you're not abusing your fucking prescription painkillers. Like, why are you still taking this? We don't need a bunch of Vicodin addicted, old people and white people. But it was never, I don't think I've ever heard anybody even remotely suggest that like the opioid epidemic is just the fault of like white people getting addicted to drugs who shouldn't be.
Well, I think it's because I think it was because it was back during the 60s and 70s and stuff. Like, but since like the 2000s, I don't think they did that they've done that towards black people. They've said stuff like that towards black people, and the opiates affect everybody. Like when I was in Athens, crazily enough, one of the reasons why I stopped going to school was because I actually got addicted to opiates, and there's shit tons of black people up there that do that too, white people that do that too. It's a problem with all the people, like everybody. It's not like a one side, like it doesn't just affect white people. I don't think that's why.
Sure, I understand, but like the response to the crime wave in the 90s and the response to like the crack epidemic and everything literally was, we need to, like the crime bill, right? It was a 93 crime bill. We need to crack down hard on policing. And it feels like the response to and the Congressional Black Caucus and everything else, people really didn't like crack. But it seems like the response to the opioid thing is like everybody's at fault except for the white people doing the drugs. I've never heard people blame white people for getting addicted to opioids. And I feel like it's because it was like a white person's drug more than anything else. I never heard that.
I think it's because we've actually made progress, actually made progress in understanding like how it actually does affect people and that it's a disease and stuff. Like I've listened to them talk about it on Fox News, about how it's not like they've talked about it in that way, how it's like an issue that can affect anybody. There was a couple hosts on there that talked about how that was part of some stuff that happened in their family. Maybe that it does have something to do with what you're saying, but it also could just be because it had never affected them or white people in that way to where they even had a way to understand it. But now they understand it from everybody. I just think it's just because it's two different like areas in time, like two different parts in time. And that was also right when well, never mind. I don't think that's true actually.
I guess I disagree, but it's hard to.
The last thing I think you could say is that Asmon's a racist, because he even says stuff that, like when he says it, I'm like, oh, that's gonna get clipped. That's gonna sound bad, and he'll say it like openly, like about how everybody makes jokes and like how he's actually probably worse off stream. I know that's probably not making the case for him right now, but he'll say stuff like that, and I'm like, that's. If I think he was actually racist and trying to hide it, I don't think he would say stuff like that.
So I mean, like my issue related to Asmongold and racism is I wouldn't say it's necessarily like racism. The term I use is like xenophobia. Like
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't think that's wrong. There's Japanese are xenophobic. I think and if they weren't, maybe we wouldn't have Japan. Like I think it's good to preserve cultures.
Well, yeah, and maybe you can make that argument in some places, but like, how does it work in the United States? Because aren't we kind of like not to be like again super woke, but like aren't we kind of like a nation of other peoples, like of immigrants?
No, yeah, I agree with you, but that's when we have it where people are assimilating and people that actually love the country and want to come here. Like, and I appreciate how, and I've always said this, and I've been so frustrated because they never do this. Like, and I have this argument in the comments with people like on like every now and then in the like right wing side, you'll see people in the comments being racist, and it's not as common as some people would think it would be. And there's people arguing against them, and I'm like, when Donald Trump says I even tell him, like, when Donald Trump says Americans, like, what do you think? You think he's saying white Americans? You think he's just talking to you?
Yes.
And like I don't think so. I don't. And they've recently started actually, like
I think
clarifying. Like,
so, like,
Kristi Noem has a commercial about it.
Well, here,
J.D.
so-
Vance even said so on stage.
Yeah, I know they'll say a thing, but like, so like here's the thing, okay? And and I actually in the past, and I guess even going forward, I blame liberals for this shit over like fixating on fucking words and stuff, okay? I think that it's more problematic if you have a person who just like constantly says the N-word and the N-word and the N-word or whatever, and they just say racist jokes all the time or whatever, and even if they don't like black people or, racial groups or whatever, like, I think that that's bad, but I think that it's worse if you have a person who never says a racist slur or never utters a racist joke, but they say things like, I don't think a person from that background could ever properly assimilate to this country. But if they're not using a racial slur, people never consider it racism. But I think that second person, I think Asmongold does that a lot. I think that person is infinitely more harmful and infinitely more like actually racist than like a person who just says racist jokes, just does dumb shit, and maybe even is racist a little bit. Because like that other person, have you ever heard of the term like racial essentialism? Basically the idea that like culture comes from people's ethnic backgrounds or whatever. Like I do think that Asmongold believes that. I don't know if he's explicitly said it before, but I think that he thinks that like the chances of like a person of like a Somali background ethnically being able to assimilate to American culture, it's going to be much harder for that type of person. Like I think that he kind of
Why do you
subscribe.
think that?
Just because of the way that he talks about, like, it's just, I don't think I would ever hear Asmongold ever. Let's say that a group of Swedes were discovered in the United States to be doing some fucking fraud or whatever, or Italians or whatever. Maybe there is some example, and I just can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But, like, I don't know if I would ever hear Asmongold saying things like, we need to deport these types of people from the United States. Like, Swedes are trying to scam us. Norwegians are trying to, get one over on the system. French people are trying to, I just don't know if he would ever talk about those groups of people the same way.
I mean that's possible. But like when he talks about he doesn't talk about like he's never said anything like how certain people, there's no way anybody from that group could assimilate, or that those people shouldn't be allowed to try to come in. Anytime I've heard him talk about it, it's because there's a large scale of it, or because he'll say like because people like in the Somali stuff, like Tim Walz allows it, or because they're scared to tell the people that they can't do this, or that they're scared to crack down on it. That's why it's been allowed to keep going and to make. And he says also it makes them like it's not good for their community because it makes them look bad. Like it makes their whole community look bad when it's not all their community. It's just certain people, and it's because they weren't like assimilated.
Yeah, but I don't hear those arguments as much. Well, it's making that the Somali community look
maybe
bad.
It's because they're clipping him because like they only show you only see this crazy stuff that they'll clip out of him.
I mean,
like,
I watch his videos. I know there are people who,
yeah,
Hassan and shit will do for sure. But I try to watch like his videos. Like if I'm missing something, this is also why I invite him to chat. Because if I'm missing something, I don't mind. Like I'm not here to clip assassin. I don't give a fuck about shit like that. People do that to me all the time. What do you do for, what's like your biggest hobby or enjoyment? Is it like a game or music or?
Learn. I know it sounds corny, but like learn. Like I learn about certain like random stuff, anything that pops in my mind whenever I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play soccer a lot, but
I guess like if you have a friend who's trying to like there are two types of frustrations I think when people are like learning a new hobby. If it's like playing an instrument or playing a game or whatever, where somebody will get frustrated with a thing, and every time they get frustrated, like I'm done, like I quit, like I'm done.
Yeah.
Versus like another person who gets like frustrated and they keep like trying it over and over and over again until they like get it, right? The first person probably seems like they just don't give a fuck about the thing very much, but the second person genuinely really likes the thing, and even though they're getting fucking frustrated, they're like, I'm gonna do it again. I'm queuing another game. I'm gonna practice at a slower tempo, whatever the fuck, right? And I feel like when I listen to people like Asmongold talk about immigrant problems with certain communities, and right now the minority community of the week is Somalians or Somalis. It's like when the answer is instantaneously deport them all, get them out of here, deport them, get them out of here. It's like, okay, well, this doesn't seem very solution oriented in terms of incorporating these people in our country. It seems like you just want to like remove this whole ethnic group from the country for whatever reason, because it's the flavor of the week, minority group to hate, and that's just like mega sus to me. It feels like, especially when it only happens towards communities of color.
Well, I don't think the issue is the fact that there was a lot of, or at least he believes, based on, I guess it could be lies from Trump, it could be whatever. But he believes the issue is the fact that there's been a ton of illegal immigration or illegal immigrants coming in, or people that come in that are allowed to come in that don't want to be American, don't care to be American, don't have the best intentions for America, or like could care less what the fuck happens to America and us, and that there's problems here right now with Americans that need to be addressed.
Sure, and and real quick, I understand what you're saying, and like especially with the asylum process, this has definitely happened. But then again, I think you're running into that problem of like, why are we incorporating so many different groups with each other? Why are we grouping so many of these together? Because like Somali Americans don't have anything to do with like all the mass asylum seeking from South America, right? That was like a different type of problem. So why are we even speaking of these two things simultaneously?
No, right. But that's where the part about him saying like stuff here needs to be fixed. Like there's problems here, there's issues here right now. And like we need to like people, they just need to go. They're here illegally in the first place.
Yeah, but not the Somali Americans. They're not illegally. That's not even the claim for that.
I'm talking about the other people.
Sure.
Like the other people. Like,
yeah,
just
sure.
In general, that's his whole prescription for everybody that came here illegally. Any race, doesn't care what color, doesn't care who you are. Like if you came here illegally, don't care. He don't even care your age. He think it could be old people. Regardless, they should be gone. All of them, everybody. It could just be because he's been convinced that. I mean, and there is some truth to like some of the issues that they cause, and like some lies that people say, like how we need them for certain jobs that Americans won't do when they only make up. There's like out of the 484 different jobs that that we have in America, there's only 6 that are even immigrant, like have a majority immigrant, and none of them are majority illegal immigrant. Like there's no job that they only make up like I think 5% or 1% or 5% of the entire workforce in those in the areas.
Sure,
I mean, so.
Yeah, sure, I don't. Okay, I'd have to see specifically what you're talking about. But even if I don't necessarily disagree with any of that, I guess when I look at Asmongold and the way that he talks about these groups, I only hear a solution that's put forth that basically says we need to get rid of all of them. I don't hear any solutions put forth that makes it seem like we want to incorporate any of these people into America, and it only seems to happen with groups of like other colored people. Do you think that like even if I'm not the most like diligent Asmongold viewer, assuming that everything I've seen there is true, and maybe there's other stuff that's exculpatory, but like, do you understand how somebody could come to the impression like, ooh, maybe this guy just really doesn't like... Yeah.
Especially if you've just started watching them recently. Like I started watching them actually from listening to you. I think I started watching them maybe April last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, April of last year. And the first time I'd heard him talk about groups of people was him defending them, and like talking about or defending them against people in his chats. Like that's why I know he's not, or that's why at least I believe he's not, unless he's recently become more xenophobic or racist. Like not. I guess not xenophobic. Is that the same thing as like somebody like ethnic stuff?
Well, like I think it's a weird I guess actually it's a different kind of xenophobia. Because like he's xenophobia.
He's nationalist.
Yeah, but it's only towards like it feels like certain ethnic groups. It's like the weird thing, I guess.
Well, what other like there's. We don't have a lot of immigration from white countries or illegal immigration from white countries.
Maybe not illegal immigration, but again, like this conflation between legal and illegal.
He would hate it if there was a white Christian country that they were trying to sneak in here.
Sneak in, yeah, but again, we're conflating like illegal immigrants with ordinary immigrants and everything else, right? I think it's, again, that conflation thing of all the different immigrants is a problem, but...
I don't think he talks about all immigrants. Like, I think he just talks about illegal immigrants. I could be mistaken, and it's just this, the Somali thing recently. I mean, that could be different now because of the Somali thing that he talks about legal immigrants too.
If Donald Trump
doesn't talk about any other group.
If Donald Trump tomorrow was to announce a ban on all just South American immigration, do you think that Trump would, or do you think that Asmongold would support that?
Like just South America, probably.
If Trump was to announce a ban on all European immigration tomorrow, do you think Asmongold would support that?
100%. 100%. Probably even more
Europe?
so.
You think so?
Probably even more so.
Okay.
He doesn't like Europeans specifically, but I meant to say, like, he's been covering the Iran stuff. Like, he's one of the only people. Also, this is another reason why, because he's one of the only people who covers like stuff that happens in random countries, like Nepal. He covered the stuff in Nepal. He covers the stuff right now in Iran, and like the amount of support and like making sure, like, the first thing you hear, last thing you hear, the whole time is only supporting the people and them defending themselves against their, I guess, their government. Like, that's the first thing he talks about. The same way he talks about it with the American people, like how he feels about here. Like, that's all he talks about when he talks about it. And he's one of the only people who even brings this stuff up in the first place. So.
Did you hear when Asmongold was talking about how, like,
about,
we should have, like, people of similar cultures immigrating here, and, like, the UK would be a good example of this? Do you remember him talking about this at all, or no?
No, but I don't doubt it. But I mean, that's true. I mean, and like that is true.
Okay, I'm just
Like,
challenging.
I also
feel
agree
like
when you say it.
I don't know if he would be
Go
okay
ahead.
with, like, banning all European immigrants. I feel like he would prefer. Yeah. Well.
I mean, if you're including the UK, like, yeah, maybe not the UK, but I mean, like Europe, the group, like the landmass touching, yes, he'd be cool with that. Like when you said about the Asman, about him getting his news from the feed or whatever, yeah, I agree with that. Like, that's fucking retarded, because there's arguments he'll make that are on my side that I don't agree with him, because he doesn't actually know what he's talking about, and he's not representing it right, and he just makes it look stupid. Like, but he does argue for it, and I don't agree with that. Like, I think he should actually research stuff and know why he feels the way he does. And sometimes I feel like he doesn't, and then he'll give an explanation that makes perfect sense, and like.
Can you think of, like, I'm curious, can you think of it,
them, but
is there, like, a single issue that you feel like he's talked about on stream over the past year or two that you feel like he's researched?
If not political, not nothing political, no, fuck no.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I don't think he researches any of that shit.
Is that
and it's
kind of
not
like
a good look.
Yeah, isn't that kind of problematic?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, but he's directionally right. He's like, I guess he's justified in his feelings about it, like, and he also, even he'll say when he does it, he's not 100% sure, and not all the time. Sometimes he'll say he's 100% sure about something that he's completely wrong about. But I mean, that's not a good.
Do you think he has, like, an obligation to do a little bit of reading or research, maybe?
I don't think he has an obligation, because he doesn't have a group or people that he leads. He's just an entertainer, and it's
Well,
it's
but he's
really
not
up
just
to,
an entertainer, right? Like, there's a lot of people who are probably exclusively getting news through him.
And but that's not his fault. They're fucking retards. Their parents are retards. Their school system was retarded. It's on them. Like, that's not his.
Couldn't I say the same thing about, like,
obligation.
opiates? Why are we mad about China or South America? Like, shouldn't people just not do the drugs?
Yeah, I agree, and I think, actually, when you were saying that earlier, I actually do think they need to tell white people or anybody that's doing the shit that they were fucking retarded, and like I think, yeah, that's what people told me, and that helped. Like, people definitely need to know that they're retarded, but I also do think that the government's job is to protect. Like, that's literally in the social contract for them to. Like, that's their role: protect the American people. Not to provide everything, but to protect us, and that's a way to protect.
If Asmongold knows that his audience is consuming him generally for political content, isn't there an obligation there that he has to produce, like, well-researched, well-informed opinions? Like, shouldn't he be aware of that and do better to produce content that is more informed?
No, and he'll even say this is what, like, that's what he believes. And he'll say, like, even if he does say something that is what's the word, contradictory, he'll even say, like, this is what I believe should happen, and that's why I think it should be law. Not because, or he says he doesn't even believe in laws. If something's illegal and it shouldn't be legal, then that's fine. Or if something is illegal and it shouldn't be illegal, then you shouldn't have to follow it. If something isn't illegal and it should be illegal, then they should just make it illegal and lock people up. And he does even make even more radical prescriptions for Trump that Trump needs to do. Like, and that's not a good thing, but I mean, he even tells people that that's his opinions.
I guess that just seems like a very weak, like, no social responsibility kind of position to take. That you know that a bunch of people.
He's an entertainer.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if people are consuming your content as a way to become informed.
But there's
on
a group.
things.
There's a list. I know you do the, like, the whole reason I started watching you was because I thought liberals were fucking retard, or liberals were retards and had the dumbest positions. Didn't think about them. Don't actually know how the world works. And then I listened to you, and I was like, you know what? This is an actual smart person. I can actually maybe learn what some of them actually think, or what they're even if they're like how there's idiots in MAGA that just like Trump because for the social reasons. I can actually learn what y'all believe. And then I've listened to you, but like you've been wrong about some stuff tonight, and I wrote it down while you were talking to the people. I got it in front of me.
Yeah, what do you think I've been wrong about?
Okay, let's see some of the things. Let's see. Oh, the deportations. I think one source says this. I think it's the government though that says this. Like there's going to be 2 million self deportations this year, and then there's 650 to like 800,000 or 650 to 750,000 detentions and expulsions.
I've heard.
But how could they?
Well, just real quick. So here's the issue that I have with the deportation thing, right? So Trump has claimed we're now up to, he said, 30 million people came into the country.
Well, Trump hasn't said 30. Trump said 25.
Trump said 30. That was the last number he gave.
Vance said 30 million.
Trump said 30 last time. Last he gave a number. We can find it. I know because I look, he ups the number every time. But we'll say 25 million if you want. We can say 25 million. Donald Trump says there were 25 million illegals that came into this country. And going by what I believe the reported numbers from the government are, if we believe them, the upper bound of what we'll deport this year is probably going to be maybe 1 million. And I'm pretty sure that includes the self-deportations.
No. There's been 1.5 million. There was 1.5 million, like the last numbers that they had, but they've been saying that since like July. There was 1.5. There's 2 million. There would be on track to be 2 million.
Okay, there's
also liberal sources that have said this because they're talking about.
Sure, let's say that I grant it. Let's say I just say 2 million. Okay, let's say it's 2 million this year. Well, if they've got the self-deportation program, it's probably going to be front-loaded. Like most people will take it right. I doubt people are going to wait 4 years to take it, right? So that means that most of the people that are going to take it have taken it. And we've got 4 years as presidency. And this is probably going to be his most aggressive year in enforcing the deportation stuff. Because it's when he had
next year, they get way bigger. They have way more money, and way more funding, way more people being hired next year.
The numbers are only going down from here. It's definitely not going up from this point. I think this is
people keep fucking protesting and going crazy in the streets. Yeah, for sure. And
but that's part of. But
the reason it's so bad.
Wait.
Statutory cities.
But that's Trump's fault, right? He's the president. He's supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to bring the country together on this issue. We should all want like criminals and illegal aliens to be deported from this country. So why is he so incapable of getting people to agree on this? It should be like one of the easiest issues ever. No.
No, because they just literally just hate Trump. They'll do, and this I'll give you an example of how 100%, no matter what Trump says, if Trump is the one who brings it up, they will immediately go against it. Like for when Obama was president, the liberal like California, then they all helped. They did the same. They did what Trump asked them to do and what Tom Homan said they needed to do since January. All they have to do is let them get them from the jails, and they will not have to go into their communities to get the people. But because Trump said it, no, there's no way they're going to do it. And an example
wait.
No tax on tips.
Sure, wait, real quick. For the immigration thing, what do you think is the big difference, though, between like Trump and Obama? Why do you think people might be more cooperative with Obama than they would under Trump?
Because they've hated Trump and gone crazy about Trump since 2016. It was the same way in 2016.
Don't you think maybe it's because when Trump talks about immigration or deportations, he comes off as like a cruel, vindictive, malicious individual, and it doesn't feel like he has any compassion for any of the people involved at all? Like, isn't that always going to make people less likely to cooperate with you?
You know, one way to stop that is to
wait, hold on. I just need to understand. I just need to understand real quick. Doesn't Trump talk about it way more maliciously and vindictively than any other president I can remember, even Bush, anybody, has ever talked about immigrants or dealing with illegal immigrants?
Not immigrants, but dealing with legal immigrants, yes. But it's got, since this year, like since this term, yes, since he was proven right. From his first term about needing the wall and shit, and they said no, they shut down the government in 2018. I think
none of that necessitates him
fucking funding to build a wall.
None of this necessitates him having to be cruel about it, right? When someone starts acting cruel, people are going to look at your motivations and start to second guess why you're doing the thing you're doing. That's Trump's fault. He has nobody to blame but himself.
He's not really being cruel.
Alligator Alcatraz, dog.
He didn't come up with that name.
Doesn't matter. He supported it, and then they advertised on it, and they memed on it. They posted videos in front of cages of illegal immigrants with
that specific one is one that they mainly put people that committed crime, like had committed crimes. People.
But it doesn't matter. Crime is a sad thing, and people are committing crimes. It's a sad thing. All of it is a sad thing. When you're doing
people getting crimes committed against,
Well, no,
Not the fucking criminals.
for everybody, for the fact that anybody would even have to commit a crime. All of these are sad. These are bad things. We don't want people to commit
I used to
crimes.
be a criminal. No, they should fucking be punished. They're criminals.
Sure,
don't
but
need
they
to be
should
here. They're
also,
not
but
supposed to
they
be here in the
should,
first place.
they should also not commit the crime, right? That's
Yeah, but you know what? But look, that's what I'm saying though. It wouldn't be as bad, and their shit wouldn't be as crazy if they just listened and in the first place had just handed over the criminals. Then Tom Holman said it a million times. They will not have to even go into the cities if they just give
So
them
you
up.
think there's no possible way that Trump could have handled the situation like a better
Oh
leader?
yeah, 100%, a million percent.
Okay. Trump has nobody to blame but himself for why everybody is so aggressive against his position on immigration. He talks about it with like, he's the most cruel sounding person. And when you're celebrating the alligator Alcatraz things, you're posting all the crazy videos, you're having ICE run around with masked men and everything. Like, you're making it look as bad as possible. Why would you expect anybody to cooperate with you?
You know, Trump hasn't always been like this. It got a lot like this whole thing's been exacerbated by him, just the way he was attacked and maligned his first term.
Well, because he
you
also
don't
did
think
a
that
lot
has
of
anything to do with it?
No, I think it does, but he also had he did a lot of bad stuff his first term. But I mean, that's his fault. He's
really.
bringing it on himself.
Just the fact, like even when he was running, even when he just first became, like, just the amount of lies and crazy stuff that they like people that the media.
Even when he
spread
came
about
in
him.
on the first thing, what did he say? He was going to clean out the deep state, drain the swamp. He launched a war against the
Yeah,
entire
the state,
government, and
not
then
the media. It wasn't the media though.
he attacked the media as well. He attacked all
He
these
did
people.
once they started attacking him, and he's a fucking he's an egotistical, narcissistic person, and he can't deal with that. And that's also one reason why part of the MAGA movement has gotten so bad.
Wait, do we want a president who's egotistical and narcissistic? Isn't that really bad?
Yes, you can. No, I mean, yes, it can be bad. It can be good. There's nothing just one thing. Like nothing just bad or good. It has pros and has cons.
What are the pros to
Can be a
being
good thing, can be a bad
narcissistic?
thing. Like the ability to like when they have a plan or something that they need to do to focus on it and get it done, or even if they know it's good for the country but the media as a whole is attacking them.
But if he's narcissistic, he doesn't care about what's good for the country. He just cares about what's good for his own ratings. No.
Yeah, and as long as the people that I guess the MAGA people support him, then he'll keep doing it. It's not just his fault. Like, this liberals and the media have a lot to blame for that too. He's not all bad. Like,
what did Obama? Can you name a single thing? What was what's the worst thing that like Obama did when it
blew
came
up American citizens?
when it came
But
to
I liked Obama.
Hold on.
overall.
When it came to dealing with like negative media feedback, you agree that like Obama got it real bad from the conservative media, right?
super bad. Yeah, but not like to that degree.
Probably. Well,
I don't know. I was a little kid.
So
but
what was
I
what do you think? What was the worst response that Obama had to like negative media coverage?
He's a different person though. Like, it doesn't.
A better person, right? A better person.
But 100% better person. But they didn't like specific like attack. Bro, come on, it's uniquely crazy the way they've attacked him.
I agree, but it's also
because
because Trump has been uniquely crazy.
it's because originally it was just because he was a fucking idiot. That was the original reason why, but they just kept on.
Well, being an idiot is
crazier and
bad though. If
crazier.
you're the president of the United States, you'd hope you'd be pretty intelligent, no?
Yeah, I mean, like he for the business and like certain things he is smart about, but like
I don't know about that, but
like social intelligence maybe not as much. But there's other things that you've said that was.
Well, I guess hold on. So just to center, like the media is mean to Trump, but Trump explicitly made an enemy of the media, right?
But he didn't at first. Like,
he did.
There was even a I forget who it was that talked about it. Somebody that was there, like how he thought it was going to be all nice and cozy, and was like trying to make jokes with the media and was so like inviting towards them, and then the way they immediately started attacking them and stuff. And then like there's even I think that was like the video when he started first saying fake news.
Yeah,
Like,
because that's because he went from being a celebrity.
About it, he was fucking tired of it.
Because he went from being a celebrity, right, to being a politician. The media is going to be way more
Being
critical.
loved to being hated, yeah.
Well, to two sides, it's politics, right? But if he's not prepared for that, then maybe he just should have never gone into politics. Maybe he's just not the person for it, and he should have never been supported going into politics.
Right, but I mean, if that's like if that's our side, and then the other side is only bad, like Trump's policy stuff is good for the right wing, but his like it comes with some negatives in the political sense.
Okay, sure.
But
I mean,
the
if we
left's
can agree. Well,
policies
so
are only bad.
okay,
Why,
fine.
like,
That's
there's
fine.
no
Yeah,
reason
I
for
agree
us to
that would be
focus
true, right? But we can agree then that at the very least, like Trump's approach to the media and everything is just a strict negative. There's no good excuse for it. He should be an adult and not be a baby about the media, right? He shouldn't be like suing pollsters.
I mean, I don't. How would you? Okay, so another when you say talk about this stuff, I mean, some of the lawsuits I don't think are bad at all. I think he's wrong for his lawsuit against Pulitzer, not the Pulitzer, that lady,
Yeah.
because I don't think he thinks that she was trying to influence the election by making people think that he wasn't doing as bad purposely, which I think that's a bad one. That's stupid. But the rest of them, they settled it. If they thought that they could easily win and Trump was wrong, they would not have just settled it. Like ABC shit. The dude
Don't
called
you
him a
think?
rapist.
Don't you think they were worried about engaging in an active lawsuit against the president of the United States when the president of the United States can determine whether or not like your company's mergers go through or not?
Fuck no, they would love that. They would love to have a reason to be like, look, see, Trump is persecuting us. They know they would have lost if George Stephanopoulos took the shit about George Stephanopoulos to trial. And there's plenty of things that people have said about Trump that could have some truth to it that he hasn't sued
but
about.
How could you,
He's only sued about
we
stuff
saw
that are actually illegal.
We literally
or
saw
that
them do.
slanderous.
Well, we don't know that. That's not true. So, like, he sued all the social media platforms for banning his accounts because he said it was a First Amendment violation. That's probably
that
not
could
true.
be. Yeah, that could be.
But like we saw with Kimmel, we saw him pressuring, and the FCC guy talk about having their affiliates pulled or whatever, or the licensing from their affiliates pulled because of
wasn't Trump. That was just that guy.
Well, but the guy was working under Trump, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't Trump that told him to do that.
Trump truthed out that he supported that decision, and he's constantly talked about getting rid of these people.
Said he supported the decision.
Yes, so the president supported the deplatforming, or the government censorship of somebody saying bad things about him, right?
Yeah, the FCC, the thing that's supposed to actually
censor people who say bad
regulate-
things about the president of the United States. No, it's not.
Not bad things about the president, no, but there's guidelines that I think it's to.
How is it that
promote
Asmongold, the
social
largest political streamer in the
welfare
world, has no
American
responsibility
people.
for what he says, but Jimmy Kimmel has to be treated like a journalist when he's just
because
an
he's on a
entertainer?
government because he is on a FCC regulated platform.
Yeah, but he didn't break any FCC regulations. He didn't swear or say anything like that.
Actually, if the thing about the FCC is it says you have to promote the social welfare of the American people as one of the things that they're in charge of. I mean, it's questionable.
No, come on. It was government censorship.
I mean, that is what it says. I mean,
this was government censorship. If Obama or Biden would have done this, you would have lost your mind.
I wouldn't have lost my mind. I've never really.
You just wouldn't have
about
cared.
that stuff that much. No, I've honestly never really cared about that stuff as much, even when.
Okay, so
I think
then
it's
if a Democrat
their
wins,
business, they can get rid of whoever they want. Yeah.
If Newsom is president next election cycle, and Newsom starts deplatforming radio hosts or cable TV people who are saying bad things about him because he thinks they're lies, you're going to be like, oh, it's the president, he can do that.
As long as they can justify it,
He'll justify it by saying it's not a social welfare. They're lying about me.
Yeah, I say yeah.
Don't you think that's a bad country that we want the president of the United States making the unilateral decision to deplatform like news orgs and stuff?
I mean, if it's under the executive branch, I mean, that just means Congress needs to do some shit to make the laws better. Like, oh, and by the way, Bill, you think so? You said that the party, all the people in this Congress right now need to be kicked out because they're okay with what Trump did with Maduro.
Well, yeah, I think it's really bad. Yeah.
Okay, so you think every Democrat that was in there when Bill Clinton was president should be kicked out? Bill Clinton did the same thing when the president of Panama, and then didn't tell him until after he did it.
What was the I would have to get more details on the situation for the Panama stuff. I saw that was the conservative talking points that went out this morning, but I haven't done my research on that. And given that everything else they said is totally incorrect.
I mean, they did.
What was Bill Clinton's stated mission or goal for it? Or wait, are you talking about George Bush? Are you talking about Bush Sr.?
No, I think it was Bill Clinton. It could have been Bush, but I'm pretty sure it was Bill Clinton.
Okay, I think this was Bush Sr. But even for the Panama thing, I would have to go and read more specifically about it before I develop an opinion on it.
Well, they didn't tell him until after. So I mean, I don't think it's that crazy that Trump did it. And it's not like this is the very first thing he did. I mean, he's been talking about like things that Venezuela needed to do or could do. Like, it's not like it's the very first thing he did. But I think there's other things he's done that what you were saying earlier about how it's not a good look for like other countries, like the dumb shit about Denmark, or not Denmark, from Denmark, Iceland, or Greenland.
What do you think is like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
worst?
that's not a good
I'm
look.
curious. Of all the things that Trump has done this year, what do you think is the worst thing Trump has done in
This
your
year?
eyes? Yeah.
This year? Oh, oh my God. The coin shit. His actually starting to be fucking, I think, is actual corrupt. Like, that's corrupt. That's stupid. I don't like it. I don't know how the fuck they could justify it if the Democrats ever want to impeach him for annulments and shit. I think that would be the best. That's the only thing that they should try if that was their goal. That I don't think you can really argue if it truly what he did was illegal ever since the word. You can't argue that. Like, that's crazy. Shouldn't be doing that. Fucking.
Are you talking about his?
I think people are buying pardons from him.
Are you talking about his crypto coin? Is that what you're talking about?
That the plane possibly. I don't think so, because I also think his work with those people are one of the reasons why gas prices are going lower.
With
Like,
which
I think
people?
he's doing that for the American people, the Saudis. That's
Oh.
one reason why gas is getting lower. Literally, he asked that guy to lower the oil prices, and they did. Like, he's doing that for the American people. But the fucking what did I just say?
The crypto coin you said was bad.
But there was something else. I think he's buying I think he's fucking, people are paying him for pardons.
Okay.
I think so. Oh, but you've said before, you said this a couple times, because when he said he didn't know that guy, the billionaire.
Yeah.
That's he clear, like, the lady asked him later on, and he even explained he knows exactly who he is. He knows exactly what he was in trouble for and all that stuff. But he was saying he personally doesn't know him, but his sons personally knew him, and they asked him to. He didn't say he literally didn't know anything about the guy being pardoned. He was saying he didn't know the guy.
Do you think that there's anything in the totality of the Biden admin and Obama admin that like is on the level of corruption related to like the pardons or the coin?
Nope, not at all. As far as personal corruption, nope. But I think I don't know about Obama, but for Biden, I don't think it was good for the country, and I don't think it was his fault. I think it was his party's fault. And if you listen, there's a great fucking what's it called, interview on that guy you don't like, the Shamat guy, the All In podcast, or whatever that podcast
yeah.
is called.
Smollett?
No.
No.
What?
Oh, okay.
Did you say Jussie
The Indian
Smollett?
guy.
Smollett?
Indian
or whatever
No,
that guy's
he's
name
talking
is?
about Chamath or whatever. CHA,
Chamath.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, maybe it's not. Yeah.
With Joe Manchin, you gotta watch it. You have to watch it, and you also have to watch that John Thune's thing to Congress about the ACA subsidies. This is completely separate, but you need to watch that too.
And then in the totality of Trump's
On
5
stream.
years so far in office, like besides I guess immigration stuff, like what is the thing you're happiest I guess that Trump has done?
Well, this is gonna sound stupid to you, but I also think it's one of the reasons why I hated Biden. Just the directionally social, conservative social direction of the country. Like, I think it's good to balance it out and for people to have the different perspectives.
What's like the conservative social stuff that
also,
you feel like
I
Trump has
think
pushed the
the
best? Just like the trend stuff, or
just allow. No, I don't really care about the trans stuff in certain states. Like, I think certain state, like if a state wants to, I don't think you should be able to do it to children. But I hate how they kept on about that. I hate when Trump talks and keeps on about talking about Biden and how bad Biden was and shit. I wish he'd move the fuck on and just worry about him, like his shit now. But I don't.
And you
I don't know.
said that you thought for Biden, you thought all the policies were bad.
I wouldn't say all the policies. I like the CHIPS Act.
The infrastructure bill?
The dumbest shit he could have done was that second, or his round of stimulus. That was the dumbest shit he could have did. That was the worst thing he did.
Why?
I think it was the IRA. Because it wasn't needed. I think like shit was starting to rebound. The first one was good enough. The Democrats really got, it was written by the Democrats. They got what they needed the first time. And this one was just for the businesses. It was really the Green New Deal, just rewritten. Because they couldn't get a lot of the shit in there. It was fucking it was social. What do they call it? It was just for the fucking big businesses. It was just free money for the businesses.
Wasn't the biggest free money for businesses the PPP thing that Trump did?
But that was like for all businesses. This one wasn't needed though, and it killed him. It caused inflation to keep going and get even worse.
Didn't the U.S. like outperform most other countries when it came to inflation?
Well,
I feel like
we are the reserve currency. We should have did better than other countries.
Yeah, so I feel like if we could do more stimulus and prevent unemployment and everything, I feel like that'd be a good thing. No, like we came out of COVID like pretty well.
But it wasn't needed. If we needed it, yes.
How do we know it wasn't? I feel like we
it.
came out better than everybody else. You're saying maybe we could have done even better, maybe, but I mean we did.
Well, economists even said at the time we didn't need it. Joe Manchin even told him that we didn't need it. Like that, they were advised in their committees and stuff that it was not needed, and there was a shit ton of stuff in there. It was literally just free money for NGOs. Like a lot of the shit in there was free money for NGOs. It was a shit ton of pork. Like, I know they say that stuff, but like Joe Manchin talks about it. He wrote a book about it and talked about how and it wasn't Biden's fault. I don't think it was Biden's fault. It was the people around him in there. Is what Joe thinks. When
you talk about how like we're the reserve currency of the world, so we should outperform everybody, does it bother you that Trump is like threatening the U.S. reserve currency status?
Yep. There's a shit ton of stuff that Trump does that bothers me. But one thing, I don't think he can have any. Like, it's hard to have any criticism or constructive criticism because, for one, MAGA's in defense mode. And this is another thing. Like, I don't think we've ever realized it or been able to realize it until it happens to you. Like when people are being attacked so much, it's hard to ever one time be like, you know what, you're right. This is wrong. Like, because you have to defend.
Yeah, but Obama and Biden were defending constantly for the entirety of their term, and most of the accusations weren't true.
I don't know about Biden.
What do you mean? They were accusing Biden of being senile. They were playing the Hunter Biden shit nonstop.
I'm in Obama.
For Obama, they complained about all the race stuff. They called him a socialist and a communist. The conservatives attacked him relentlessly.
I mean, it could be, but there's no way it was to the same degree. And for one, Democrats have all the institutions. They have the like the culture. They had the culture the whole time in the media. Like there was no way. It was not the same. It's not the same. And y'all had the culture and all the institutions when Trump was attacked. So like that's even more makes them feel like more in a defensive posture. And he even fought off the Republican
like Trump's injection into U.S. politics was literally the fucking birther thing. Like it was him saying.
You got that from Hillary Clinton?
No.
Yeah.
No.
The first time it came out was when Hillary Clinton was running in the.
No, Trump tried the birther thing in 2012, like even before.
Yeah, but the first time that ever came out was I'm talking about from Hillary Clinton, the first time when Obama was running.
No.
From the first time.
Listen, even if I were to grant you this, why would that excuse Trump basically running on it?
I think he believed it. It was stupid. Like they even, I don't know if it's fake or not, but like there was a whole thing where they compared it to some dumbass.
If he believed it, isn't he so incompetent that we would never want this person to be president anyway?
Well, no, this just came out. This came out recently about like.
He pushed this birther thing for like 6 months. He did this birther thing for a long time.
He believed it.
Yeah, but like if he's that stupid.
But listen, at the time it came out, like it was fake. They thought it was fake because the writing was exactly the same from at another hospital, somebody else's. Like it just looked like it was copied, and they just wrote Obama's name, Barack Hussein Obama, over somebody else's shit because all the other stuff was the same. But I don't think that was the real one. And there's a shit ton of people who fell for it.
Well, yeah, because people like Trump pushed it.
The lies. That's how Trump fell for it. There was other people that at the time were falling for the same shit that Trump was. And I don't think Trump made it as popular as y'all say he did.
This was like the big thing that he ran on. Yeah.
No.
Well, initially, in the early parts of the election, yeah, he pushed this, and I shouldn't say he ran on it, but it was like one of the things that he pushed the hardest that kind of like catapulted him, at least to the forefront of American during that primary season. Because in the beginning, he was like a 1% nobody cared or whatever, and then there were more things, and then the primary continued. But that birther thing was a big thing, I think, that he initially pushed, and he'd been pushing it for a long time. He'd been pushing that for like 4 or 5 years. Like he was tweeting.
I've heard about him pushing it before, but during his, I've heard that he used to talk about it. I think he talked about it on even like a show. But I don't think there's no way he was doing that for the election stuff because I followed him. I was in like 9th grade, and I've never heard about it during that But
So in
there's a couple other
2011,
things
the
I said.
Obama White House released his original long-form birth certificate. And then in 2012, Trump tweeted that he had an, quote, extremely credible source, end quote, who told him the birth certificate was a fraud. In 2013, he raised suspicion about the death of a Hawaii health official who verified copies of Mr. Obama's birth certificate. In
Yeah, see,
2014,
that's what I was talking about.
he asked hackers to access Mr. Obama's college records and check his place of birth. And then as recently as this month, Mr. Trump did not back away from his past support of the birther cause. Quote, I don't talk about it because if I talk about that, your whole thing will be about that, end quote, Trump said. So I don't talk about it. And this was in
What was that, from 2016?
2016, yeah.
Yeah, he said he don't talk about it no more.
Well, but that's him. He's still agreeing with it.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's not like he was pushing it. I mean, maybe he found out he was wrong and just didn't want to admit it. Like for a while, like the shit that you were talking about, the guy had to come out and say that. Like the whole reason he released it in the first place was because people were trying to say it was. There was a shit ton of people at the time saying that it wasn't real or that he wasn't actually born here. So he released it, and then there was then people trying to say that the Hawaiian that was written like it was copied from another thing. That's the whole reason that shit came out. It was a big thing. Like at one time, I even remember when I was little hearing about it, them talking about it on the news, and I mean that's back when we watched CNN. But I mean, there's other things you said though. Hold on, let me see. You said about.
I got 12 more callers, Steve. Do you want another one?
Give him one more thing before we bring in another
Alright, one more
DGGer to
thing,
give the
Gabriel.
most like tepid
I'll just
fucking.
do
No,
my
I got Asmoners.
Yeah, we'll
best
see.
one real quick. Let's see my best one. Damn, there's a shit ton. Okay, so when you say that stuff about fuck. Okay, when you say that stuff about what's his name, rich guy Elon.
Yeah.
Do you can you really blame him for Doge not working?
Yes.
How? When his cars are getting firebombed, he's attacked maliciously in the media. There's people stopping other people that just drive his cars and keying them. Always being attacked. His life threatened. His company's tanking because people are blowing up his car or firebombing his dealerships. Like, and being sued out the fucking ass 100 times by several different people and for everything he tries to do. Just for accessing the records to even begin to audit, like, how's that his fault? Like, how can you blame him for it failing when he tried everything he could, and he even tried to even though he stepped down, left his people there so that they could update the infrastructure, the way that the shit runs. But like people tried to say he was trying to steal information and all this shit. Like, how's that his fault? Like, of course it was a good idea. People that can still do it, they left the people there to do a little bit of it, but like, how's that his fault?
Here's this is like a general issue, I guess, that I have. This is going to be really negative later. I'm sorry, okay, but like one of the biggest selling points that the conservatives have for their leadership is that you guys have like the strong, manly men and like the based people with the big backbones to do the thing that needs to be done. When I look at like founding stories and like American history, it's usually like a lot of these people are people that acted with just an insane amount of bravery, courage, intelligence. When you look at like all of the problems that beset Washington's army when he had to cross the Delaware and all these people wanted to leave and Philadelphia was thinking that the war was lost, like all of these people are fighting against insurmountable odds. Okay. And in U.S. history, it's been like that over and over and over and over again. It's been fighting against these huge odds. When Reagan went to the wall in East Germany and said, Gorbachev, tear down this wall, it's like the Soviet Union is this massive thing. People didn't know it was going to collapse, right? And then when it comes time to talk about Trump and it comes time to talk about Elon, like it's so many excuses. Like, well, wasn't the media mean to him? Well, in Elon, didn't they firebomb 7 cars? And like, didn't they say these bad things? And like, wouldn't you be mad? And it's like, why is it so many excuses? Like, motherfucker, these guys are the richest people in the world. Elon Musk almost has a net worth of $1 trillion. This guy is so rich. These people have so many resources, and these are supposed to be the people leading us into a better tomorrow. And we're treating them like they're Twitter celebs. Like, well, if so many people mean tweeted at this guy, like, doesn't it make sense that he would also have this reaction? Like, why can't we expect more or better from these people? Like, maybe the president of the United States shouldn't be suing people or pressuring people because they said bad things about him on the news. Or maybe Elon Musk, the richest guy on the planet, shouldn't be upset that people are mad at him because he's participating in one of the most divisive administrations in U.S. history. That's not a surprising thing. Like, if these people aren't cut out for the job, then they just shouldn't do it. And more importantly, people like you shouldn't support them doing it. I don't understand how you can have this constant stream of excuses for these people who need to man the fuck up and do their job and not cry all the time about people being mean to them on social media. Just log the fuck off.
That's not
no?
it. People firebombing them. 53% of people at the time of liberals said that it'd be okay to murder Trump, and 47% said it'd be okay to murder Elon Musk.
Yeah, and Trump is truthing out that it'd be okay to try and execute sitting congressmen. It was like 10 cars. Who cares?
Okay. You're right. You're right.
I'm just saying, I don't understand how there are so many excuses for these people. Like, why can't they just do their fucking job? Like, put the job in the bag and do your job as a government official. I can't, otherwise, like, get them out and bring somebody in who's not going to cry all the time. I don't remember, Obama got attacked relentlessly by the media. Maybe not as much as Trump, but Trump is just doing so many crazy fucking things. Like, that's to be expected, you know? Like, it's just crazy to me because it feels like an analog to some extent, except everybody swapped roles, where Trump is the black community and conservatives have become liberals, and Trump is out here committing all these crimes and doing all these horrible things. And then, you know, the conservatives are like, well, I don't know why you guys are going after him so much. And it's like, well, because he's doing all the fucking crime. But like, if you flip this onto, you know, some racial thing, you flip this onto crime stuff, you know, liberals are like, why do you guys go after black people all the time? Because it's like, well, let's be realistic. They're committing all the crime. But you understand it there. But then when it comes to Trump, you know, like, nobody has done the things that he's doing. Nobody has been as antagonistic as he's being. Nobody has done these same things as crazily and over and over and over again. Like, why did Trump, like, I'm curious, in your mind, why didn't Trump run with the same vice president that he won last time with?
Because he didn't care if the motherfucker got murdered. I mean, that's crazy. Shit was crazy. That was horrible. It was bad.
So
That's part of his egotistical.
Yeah, egotistical, narcissistic, weak, like spineless. Like he's just not a good man. He's not a good person. Like his family life is terrible. He lies. He makes names for people.
His kids are awesome. Everybody talks about how awesome his kids are.
He saw fucking porn stars while his wife was at home with her 2-month-old. How was this?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, and his children are scammers, right?
Not all of them. Maybe one of them.
They're his children. Is actual.
No, Ivanka's the shit. I mean, bro, you should hear the way people talk about his children. His children are awesome. People that don't like him. Bill Maher. There's people that talk about his children that they couldn't believe that those kids came from Donald Trump.
They're scammers. All of them are in scam businesses. We got the scam cell phone that nothing is coming out. We've got Witkoff and the scam crypto stuff and all the scam.
I don't like Witkoff. Witkoff's a piece of shit. I mean, Trump's not. I don't like. I just like Trump because directionally, he's doing the right shit.
The direction is into the ground. There's not going to be any legislation about immigration. There's not going to be any balanced budget. There's not going to be any legislation about housing price or anything else. I don't know if there's going to be any legislation. I don't know if Trump knows what Congress is.
No, but I mean, but look, if he doesn't, if the Democrats will literally never vote for anything, like, well, what's the point? And also, isn't Trump in the executive branch?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the legislative branch. That's their job.
No, but you work with them. You're the leader. No, but you work with them. He doesn't use them because he's trying to do it all on his own via executive order.
Well, that's because that's because the Democrats will not pass anything. They wouldn't even pass like the.
Why was Biden able to get the Republicans to pass stuff? You have to work with them. What has Trump even presented them?
Aren't crazy.
What is Trump? Trump has presided over 2 of the longest shutdowns in all of government history. Is that just a coincidence? It's because of the Democrats.
The first one was because he wanted to. Yes, it is because.
How is it always everybody else's fault but his? Even when they have a majority in Congress, it's still the Democrats' fault.
It literally is. It literally is just like some of the other shit's Trump's fault. They will not vote for anything that Trump wants. Just like with the no tax on tips. They said that was part of their campaign or campaign during.
Come on, at some point the buck has to stop with Trump.
Now they won't even fucking pass it because Trump,
at some point he has to have some responsibility. It's just a coincidence that 8 out of the 10 largest protests in American history have happened under Donald Trump. Is that just because of the media?
Yeah, that is because of the media and because Donald Trump falls for the crazy shit that the liberals out there protesting about. He falls for the debate.
The Republicans lost their House majority seat for the first time in any Congress in U.S. history. Was that the Democrats' fault? That McCarthy and all those guys, they lost their majority seat and they voted them out. And it took like 30 votes to reseat somebody. It was like 3 weeks.
It was their own fault for changing the rules to be able to do it.
Yeah, but this is all like MAGA shit. These guys are all.
That wasn't MAGA. That was when Trump. They were like they changed that rule whenever Trump was ousted. When Trump wasn't supposed to be part of the party anymore. But I don't want you to be mad at me. I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Appreciate listening to you.
Yep.
Hopefully I can talk to you again one day. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on and chatting. I appreciate it.
Yeah.